from nearby Eastern Michigan University. This afternoon, the Wolverines hope to exact revenge in the Big House. 1997 was a magical season for Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines, but an 0-2 start in '98 has left Michigan frustrated and looking for answers. Today, Coach Carr must decide who to turn to. Can a couple of freshman phenoms step up and boost this team to respectability? Or will a senior come to the fore and make the right moves to lead Michigan to another celebrated campaign? Eastern Michigan comes to Ann Arbor next. Is proud to present Big Ten football on ESPN+. It is a gorgeous sun-splashed day at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Today, the Michigan Wolverines play host to the Eastern Michigan Eagles. Hi, everybody. I'm Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright. Jim Barber will join us from the sidelines. Mike Gleason will host these proceedings from the Phillips 66 studio. It is great to have you with us in this idyllic setting for college football. The Michigan Wolverines at 0-2 find themselves, Randy, in the unusual position of actually having something to prove here this third week of the season.
Well, Wayne, Michigan has always taken a great deal of pride in their defense. Last year, it won them a national championship. They played with intensity. They were aggressive. They would create plays. They would create turnovers. This year, you don't see that. They're not creating anything, and as a result, they're giving up over 235 yards on the ground a game and 37 points.
Well, look at those numbers. What a difference a year makes, and add fuel to the fire. Tri-captain starting strong safety Marcus Ray suspended indefinitely this week for alleged improper contact with an agent. As far as the kids from Ypsilanti, just 6 miles down the road, well, they're looking to a native son for leadership here today.
Walt Church is a good young quarterback. He likes to distribute the ball to a lot of different receivers, and if he gets time to throw today, he can be very effective.
Well, we've got Eastern Michigan taking on the big boys from Ann Arbor in the Big House, Michigan Stadium, and we'll send it now to the Phillips 66 studio and Mike Gleason.
Thanks a lot, Wayne. Pre-game report. Thanks for joining us. Wayne Larrabee and Randy Wright will have the call, but right now let's send it out to Jim Barber. Jim?
Thank you, Mike. Lloyd Carr here with the Wolverines at 0-2. You were talking about the focus this week. How does his team feel right now?
Well, I think we have great kids in Michigan, and I expect a great effort from them today.
You said you wanted to establish the running game. How important early against Eastern Michigan?
Well, we're prepared to play 4 quarters. That's what we have to do, and regardless of how the game plays, we want to play for 60 minutes.
All right, good luck, Coach.
Thank you, Jim.
Lloyd Carr and the Wolverines for the kickoff. Let's go upstairs, Wayne and Randy.
All right, thank you very much, Jim Barber. Eastern Michigan won the toss, deferred its decision to the second half, so Michigan will receive on a beautiful afternoon here in Ann Arbor. Taller Starnes will boot it away for the Eagles in the traveling white uniforms with the green trims, with 3 inside the end zone. Clarence Williams, principal deep back for Michigan, and Williams tracks into the goal line. A seam out to the 30-yard line. 30-yard return by Clarence Williams. It'll be first down for Michigan from there. Joe Carroll made the stop for Eastern Michigan. Advanced Auto Parts starting lineups, and let's take a look at it. For the Michigan Wolverines, Anthony Thomas, a sophomore, must run big here today, they feel. On the receiving corps, Jeremy Tooman is one of the best tight ends in the country. He only has 3 receptions so far. They'll try to get the ball to him. And on the offensive line, John Jansen and Jeff Backus are 2 fine tackles. They've had trouble on the interior. First down for Michigan, Brady. And here is Thomas. To the 50, to the 40. Thomas taken out of bounds. James Hughes saved a touchdown. Michigan will go first down inside the 35-yard line of Eastern Michigan.
What a beautiful first play for Michigan. Watch this coming right at you. Look at the cross block right there, and just a beautiful, beautiful hole for Thomas to run through. Can't arm tackle him, and then it gets to the outside. Just a nice foot race. One of the few big plays on offense that Michigan has had in 3 games, Wayne.
A 36-yard run. Well, the Wolverines said we want to reestablish the running game here. They did on that one play.
If that's the guy they would like to step forward, is Anthony Thomas.
Thomas cuts it back up the middle. Nice move inside the 30-yard line down to the 28, and Donald McCall made the stop. Let's take a look at the Eagles defense. Troy Campbell up on that defensive line, very active with 1.5 sacks. In the linebacking court, Derek Binedo, 2 sacks and an interception. And the safeties are very active, led by Donald McCall. McCall and James Hughes, 2 junior college transfers who have added a lot to this defense. Second down coming up for the Wolverines. We are just underway from Michigan Stadium. And an injured Eagle on the field. That's Donald McCall being helped off the field. It is a beautiful afternoon here in Ann Arbor in this idyllic setting for college football. 78 degrees the temperatures, light winds, and the forecast clear and sunny. It is a picture postcard afternoon. And there is the leading tackler, the junior from Colton, California, Donald McCall. 19 tackles, 14 solos, 3 tackles behind the line of, or 4 tackles for loss. Now Michigan second down. Second down at about 5. Thomas again finds a hole, and a first down and more. Thomas forced out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, Michigan. David Taylor forced him out.
Same play Michigan ran the first play of the game, just to the right side. You take a look at the blocking to the left side of the Michigan offensive line. Right here we'll see the hole open up, and Thomas comes through and just runs through untouched again. Same play they ran when it worked the first time. They come back to it, run it again.
So off that 26-yard play, first down Michigan, first and goal to go. And they go to Thomas again. Thomas to the end zone with the penalty marker down. It is a touchdown Michigan pending the outcome of the flag. Penalty markers down in the end zone. Today's officiating crew, the referee Dennis Lipsky. See him in the white cap.
Illegal participation. 12 players on the defense. Penalties declined. Touchdown.
So it is a touchdown Michigan.
Take a look at 67, the left guard on the pull, coming through, makes a nice block right there, and Thomas just follows it, keeps his legs moving, gets into the end zone. Wayne, if there's any back that Michigan really wants to step forward today, it's Anthony Thomas.
The extra point is good. And Michigan takes the early lead on its first drive of the ball game. The Wolverines reach the end zone to lead Eastern 7-0. Was a strange dude. Tell you, that young man got up today, and all he had right was the hair and the face color. Phillips Petroleum, keys to the game, Randy, for Michigan.
Michigan wants to control the ball, not only on the ground, but also through the air, and they want to create some things defensively. That's what's been lacking this year for them. For Eastern Michigan, they want to run the ball at least 30 times. Even if they just get back to the line of scrimmage, they need to run the ball some, and they want to protect their quarterback, Walt Church.
Hayden Epstein, a true freshman, set to kick it away for Michigan. We've been told this young man has a big leg, and he gets good leverage into this kickoff. Lincoln Dupree, about 3/4 of the way through the end zone, downs it. And the Eagles will start from their 20-yard line. Advance Auto Parts starting lineups. Let's take a look at them. For Eastern Michigan on offense, Walt Church, the Ypsilanti native, local product, strong arm, not a lot of mobility. Jermaine Sheffield is 6'5", one of the tallest receivers Michigan will see this year. L.J. Shelton is most likely to be playing next season on Sundays. First down at the 20-yard line. Powell made his debut as a sophomore last week, rushed for over 100 yards, and gets about 7 yards out to the 27-yard line on this carry. Dhani Jones makes the stop for Michigan. Joaquin Fizel leads the way, a tri-captain up front. Renas and Williams are tough inside as well. The linebacker Anthony Jordan has stepped to the fore, a redshirt freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey. And Tommy Hendricks moves from the free to the strong safety to replace Marcus Ray. Second down for Eastern Michigan, and they spread the formation. Church, that one-step drop. Christian collared out of bounds on the near sidelines. James Whitley ushered him to the chalk marks in front of the Wolverine bench. It is a first down for Eastern Michigan.
When you take a look at this, is what Eastern Michigan calls their now screen. Church is going to throw the ball out here to the left side, and as long as he throws the ball behind the line of scrimmage, you can block downfield as long as the ball is thrown behind the line. Here, he gets the ball out to Christian behind the line. You see the blocking going on. They pick up a couple of yards.
I was a little premature on the first down call. It is third down and a yard to go. And a good second effort by Ethan Benoit, a sophomore from Rich South High School in Chicago. I believe he's picked up the first down, and in fact he has. James Hall, the outside linebacker, the rush linebacker, made the stop. There is Ethan Benoit, and Eastern Michigan picks up a first down.
Take a look at this second effort here by Benoit. Doesn't look like there's much there, and I think he was stopped short, but he spins off to the side and gets across that 30-yard line for the first down. Rick Rasnick realizes he's not going to beat Michigan running the ball, but he's got to be able to run it to mix some things in there.
Powell, as I mentioned, 113 yards and 32 carries. In Muncie last week, Dahani Jones made the stop. Pickup of about 3 yards on that play.
Really, for the third week in a row, Wayne, we're seeing Michigan face an offense that they're unfamiliar with. It's been the option the last couple of weeks with Notre Dame and Syracuse. Now today, it's a wide-open one-back offense, so we'll have to make sure they can stay focused and stay disciplined, keep their assignments well in line.
Here's the shotgun formation on 2nd and 3. Coach Rasnick told us they'd be employing this to give Church a little bit more time. And he sets up a screen. Powell offended on the play. Nice tackle made by Anthony Jordan, the linebacker. And Randy, he's the 4th leading tackler on this team with 15 total tackles. And here's a kid who was 3rd on the depth chart at the start of camp this summer.
He led their team with 13 tackles last week. Nice job here by Church, finding his back right over the middle. One thing their coach told us, I always want to get a back or a receiver in front of my quarterback so that if he gets in trouble, my quarterback knows where his dump off is. That time it was Eric Powell.
And it's a 3rd and 3 for Eastern Michigan. Church may be changing the play at the line. Church with time. Trying to drill it in, and it's intercepted by Weathers. Andre Weathers back to the Eastern Michigan 31-yard line. Pass intended for Kenny Christian. Jermaine Sheffield made the stop. The interception by Andre Weathers, his first of the season.
Boy, excellent protection here. You can see the pocket and the time that Walt Church has. He just misreads the coverage and throws it right into Andre Weathers from his cornerback spot, drops back and gets in the position and makes a nice catch. Only the 2nd interception Michigan has had this year. Last year, their defense created plays with sacks and interceptions. This year, just their 2nd.
They've only had 1 sack this season as well. Michigan's defense. From the 31 on first down, Clarence Williams to the 18-yard line of Eastern Michigan for a first down on a gain of about 13. Demetrius Johnson, the quarterback, on the stop.
Another huge hole for a Michigan back to run through. As small as Eastern Michigan is, their linebackers are only 215, 213, 212 pounds. They're going to have a real challenge to step up to that big Michigan offensive line, and so far they can't do that.
Time it was Backus and Brandt on the left side of the offensive line to open that hole. Williams able to slip a defender inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line on a gain of about 5 or 6 yards. Johnson in on that tackle for Eastern Michigan.
Well, Michigan wanted to control the ball. You usually think that means on the ground, but they also want to mix in a few passing plays. They want to work on the run first. So far, the run's been so successful, they haven't had to do anything through the air.
Ty Streets at the top of your screen. Marcus Knight on the bottom. Here comes Clarence Williams. Hit by Hughes, and he's upended at the 10-yard line. Well, Jim Barber, what do you have for us on the injured safety, Donald McCall, for Eastern Michigan?
Call's going to be open. Did take a pretty serious head bump, but the team physician, Wally Roser, said he's okay. He wasn't unconscious. They're going to watch him for a series or 2 before he goes back in the game.
Thank you, Jim. Michigan facing 3rd and about 2 at the 10-yard line of Eastern Michigan. The Wolverines with the early lead. Marcus Knight, the lone wide receiver. He's at the top of your screen. Jackson in motion. Walter Cross, first down to the 5-yard line. Cross debuted last week with 104 yards on 10 attempts and 2 touchdowns in the 4th quarter against Syracuse.
And that's the 3rd back we have seen carry the ball here. We've seen Thomas do it. We've seen Williams do it. Now Cross. Of the top 6 backs, as you see there, the fastest to get to 100 yards in his first game. Of the 6 backs Michigan will use, 5 of them are freshmen or sophomores. So that's why they need one to emerge.
First and goal, Michigan. Jackson in motion. Cross. Down to the 2-yard line. Walter Cross ran into a wall that time. Picks up about 3 yards on the play. Hughes and Benito defended for Eastern. And Randy, you pointed it out real early, and it's something you talked about yesterday. Eastern Michigan would have trouble dealing with this front line of the Michigan Wolverines. They are doing a job up front.
And that's where Michigan has been pounding the ball. Some plays have broken to the outside, but they've started off running through the tackles, in between the tackles.
Second and goal from the 2. Thomas, touchdown. 2-yard touchdown run, Anthony Thomas. And Michigan ups the advantage to 13 points.
Anthony Thomas, a much bigger back than Walter Cross at 221 pounds. Lloyd Carr has said he's lighter and quicker this year, though he's not running with as much authority, and the running game hasn't opened up for this team, so therefore he doesn't look like he's quicker and lighter.
Jay Feely with the point after. And Michigan has scored on its first 2 possessions, converting an interception by Andre Weathers into 6 points on this plunge from 2 yards out by Anthony Thomas. 13-0 here at home. 9:06 to go. Michigan's had 2 possessions, and they have accomplished what they wanted to do, and that is get the running game on track. They have 100 yards on 10 rushing attempts. Michigan has been nipped by the injury bug, and this is something that will happen to a team, especially after a Cinderella season like a year ago. You have to, Lloyd Carr knows you have to overcome adversity. This is adversity of the biggest kind, the injuries.
Well, it also has contributed to the fact that they've had a pretty tough schedule so far. When you play tough games and you get into it emotionally, you're going to have those injuries happen a little more often.
Epstein's kickoff. Mucked by Kewan Douglas, and he gets it back out to the 10-yard line. To Studio 66, Mike Gleason for Cincinnati and Army.
All right, Wayne, Cincinnati taking advantage of an Army fumble. They went 2 plays, 14 seconds. This is Chad Plummer going upstairs. Jason Collins Baker, 14 yards for the touchdown. 7-0 Bearcats. Army answers with a field goal at 7-3 UC. Wayne?
I'll tell you what, Army's playing its first game in the conference there, isn't it?
I think you're right.
Yeah, first game of that new conference. Conference USA. Relatively new, I should say. First down for Eastern Michigan. Football out of the 10-yard line. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. Walt Church in the shotgun right away. The swing pass out into the flat. That's Ethan Benoit. To the 15-yard line. Gain of about 6 yards. Andre Weathers on the stop for Michigan.
This is one way Eastern Michigan will try and get the ball to the outside without having to run it. When you throw a quick little swing pass out here to your left side, it's the same as a sweep, only you get the ball, makes it look more like a pass. Benoit does a nice job of catching it and then turning back into the middle where nobody is there, picks up nice yardage.
Rick Rasnick had an opportunity to either play at Florida or at Michigan this weekend of September. He chose a house over a swamp.
Right now, I think you'd prefer the swamp.
I was going to say. There's the quick hit to House. Or I should say to Christian. Kenny Christian forced out of bounds of the near sidelines. He's got a first down for Eastern Michigan.
You know, we talked earlier, Wayne, about the injuries that have hit Michigan, and Rick Rasnick there is his 4th season here at Eastern Michigan. He told us, I'm not going to sacrifice the season to stay toe-to-toe with these guys. We realize that we're smaller and we can't afford to get a lot of players hurt and have it affect us the rest of the year.
He's had great success offensively. His San Jose State team was 5th nationally when he was the offensive coordinator there. Powell was hit hard as he took it up the middle. Josh Williams delivered the blow. Very little gain, maybe a yard out to the 25-yard line is it.
Even though there's no gain on that play, Coach Rasnick told us he's got to run the ball and at least get it back to the line of scrimmage. If they don't run the ball 30 times today, he doesn't feel they can win this game. He's also got to take a little pressure off of Walt Church. Last possession, the interception by Andre Weathers was his first interception of the year. So far, he's come back out, backed up to his own end zone, and thrown the ball pretty well, so it doesn't seem to be affecting him.
Make that Ethan Benoit on the previous carry. 2nd and 9, the shotgun. Church, under some pressure, gets it away and throws it away. The rush linebacker, James Hall, is coming in a hurry. There is a penalty marker down to the offensive backfield.
Looks like they're going to call intentional grounding here.
Well, he did not vacate the pocket, and there was no receiver downfield. And grounding is the call against Eastern Michigan.
I believe they were trying to set up a screen over here.
Intentional grounding on the offense. 5 yards from the spot of the foul. Loss of down. 3rd down.
Wait, I think they were trying to set a screen up, and the early pressure on Church forced him to get rid of the ball before the screen could set up, and that's why Benoit wasn't over there in the area.
So for Eastern Michigan, it becomes a 3rd down. About 25 yards to go. You got a 3rd down and 25 play. Michigan Stadium.
When you're down 14-0.
Would you say quick kick? That's going to be the case. Got the slant, Powell. Not a bad call. They got out across the 25 to the 26. It is a 4th down.
That was the second play I would have called.
18-yard gain, not a bad play. They needed 25. Dhani Jones on the stop.
What it does is it just is a field position play. A nice job of throwing the quick slant. They bring Powell from the backfield out to the wideout, spread that defense, get those linebackers out of the way. That opens things up. Powell did a nice job of picking up everything he could, at least giving them a little better field position.
Nick Avandet having the best season in the history of Eastern Michigan punting. 44.2-yard average, a long of 74. Whitley back deep to receive for Michigan. Line drive kick. Whitley muffs it, makes the catch on it as he juggled across the 45, and he's got yardage to the 46, where it'll be a 1st down for Michigan. Willingham made the stop. Early going in Ann Arbor, Michigan leading by 2. Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright. Jim Barber's on the sidelines. Mike Gleason is our host from Studio 66. It's great to have you with us. Michigan takes over offensively for the 3rd time this afternoon. They have scored on each of their first 2 possessions. Tom Brady, the quarterback. Little swing pass to Ty Streets, and he is gunned down by the linebacker Jason Short. Michigan, as we mentioned, very efficient offensively. Anthony Thomas having a big afternoon of the early going. Thomas in close scoring, and even closer on to cap the 2nd offensive possession following an interception by cornerback Andre Weathers, and Michigan just pounding it right at the smaller Central or Eastern Michigan Eagles. Now 2nd down for Michigan. Clarence Williams gets the call, and a good 2nd and 3rd effort gets him down to the 40-yard line of Eastern Michigan for a 1st down.
So far, the Wolverines offense is doing a nice job of picking up all the movement by the Eastern Michigan defense. They will bring linebackers, they will blitz safeties, they will blitz corners. They try and hit the line of scrimmage running. So far, very nice job of that Michigan offensive line and the fullback of picking out the players and blocking them and opening up beautiful holes.
One thing Michigan wanted to do, Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator, said we want to get that running game on track. We want to get some confidence going in our front line, and that's what they're doing here today. Play action, Brady on a bootleg, and a man open, and they try to get it to the tight end, Mark Campbell. He could not make the catch in play at the 30-yard line.
Well, that's a good point, Wayne. When was the last time Michigan felt they didn't have confidence in their running game? They've got a lot of young backs, but they've got a pretty veteran offensive line, and they just haven't been able to work on it because their previous 2 games, they've been behind so far. They've had to throw the ball much more than they would like to.
No question about that. In terms of Notre Dame, they dominated the 1st quarter at Notre Dame, but were unable to get it in the end zone, and then fell behind the Irish early going 2nd half. Here they lead 14-0. Thomas to the outside. to the 27-yard line and a late flag on the play. Anthony Thomas, the sophomore from Winfield, Louisiana, 15-yard gain, and James Hughes forced him out. Personal foul, maybe for a late hit against Eastern Michigan.
Dead ball foul, personal foul.
Take a look here at the left side right there. The left guard for Michigan pulling and opening up this hole for Anthony Thomas to run right through. He gets a nice kick-out block right there. Beautiful hole, and then it's just speed to the outside as he outruns number 44, Russell.
There's the late hit right there. Hughes with that late hit. 13-yard line is where Michigan has the football. Already leading 14-0. Under 6 minutes to go in this first quarter. Thomas ran into David Brandt and is eventually brought down by Matt Driscoll. Gain of a couple of yards down to the 11-yard line. Eastern Michigan, these kids knew they were up against it today. James Turner on that front line, 6'2", 265. Ashley Travis, 6'4", 242. Troy Campbell, 6'4", 255. Just not quite the bulk to go up against this big Michigan offensive line. Ty Streets may have a calf problem of some sort. They're working on him just a bit. Thomas upended on the play, across the 10-yard line. And the tackle made by Troy Campbell. Gain of about 4 yards. Michigan facing a third down. They have struggled in third down situations, not today, but coming into this game, they were 12 for 33 in third downs. Third down conversions, that's just 36%. And last week did not convert a third down into a first down until the fourth quarter of that game against Syracuse.
So many of their third down, Waynes, have been long yardage. That's the result of the lack of a running game.
22 of those 33 third down situations have been third down and 6 or more. They're down at about 5, right through the hands of the intended receiver, and then nearly retrieved to the end zone by Marcus Knight. A quick slant to Kevin Bryant went off his hands, but Knight, trailing the play, almost made the catch in the end zone.
Pretty good coverage that time by Eastern Michigan's defense. Watch as this ball is thrown a little behind Bryant. He's got to reach back off of his right arm. Fortunately, that for Michigan, that ball wasn't intercepted. Most balls that get tipped up in the air get intercepted.
Isaac Shipp got a piece of that football as well, the defender on the play.
Shows you how hard that ball was thrown.
24-yard field goal attempt is good by Jay Feely. And Michigan's lead is now 17-0 over Eastern Michigan with 4:02 to go first quarter. Back to Studio 66. Mike Gleason, what do you have for us?
Well, Wayne, Rutgers had to go into the Carrier Dome against Syracuse, and once again Syracuse taking advantage of a muff punt, sets up the touchdown. Now Kyle McIntosh on the run this time, but keep an eye on Rob Conrad. Conrad with a nice block, playing fullback, number 44, springs him loose, and this sets up a Conrad touchdown. And the Orangemen, after beating Michigan last week, they're up on the Scarlet Knights 7-0 early in the first. Let's go back to Ann Arbor and Wayne.
Thanks very much, Mike. Boy, I tell you, Syracuse most impressive. A week later here in Michigan, they're still talking about Donovan McNabb and that well-oiled machine that Syracuse brought here to Michigan Stadium. Take a look at last week, Michigan's performance against Syracuse. In that first quarter, Syracuse dominant right on the get-go, and Michigan struggling on third downs. Didn't, as I mentioned, convert a third down to first down until the fourth quarter, and just 37 yards on the ground in the first half against Syracuse.
As we said,
Thomas had more than that on his first carry today.
You look at those 37 yards rushing, and it tells you why they were 0 for 11 on third downs, because they had third and a lot to go.
Lincoln Dupree ran into some Wolverines across the 20-yard line. It'll be a first down coming up for Eastern Michigan, back inside the Eagle 25. It's time now to take a look at the GTE Academic All-America Team Member Spotlight, as selected by the College Sports Information Directors of America. This week, GTE salutes Tracy Conrad. Tracy was a junior on the Michigan varsity softball team in 1977 when she was chosen for this honor. She held a minimum GPA of 3.42, selected by the University of Michigan Sports Information Director for the award. The Big Ten Conference and ESPN Plus join GTE in congratulating Tracy Conrad, this week's GTE Academic All-America Team Member Spotlight. Brzezinski in motion. Church steps up, going to take it himself. Sam's sword forces him to the chalk marks on the near side. Gain of about 3 or 4 yards on the play.
Nice job by Church, wanting to go with a quick 3-step drop, try a possession pass. When it's not there, though he's not the most mobile of quarterbacks, he does a nice job of avoiding the first guy, buys himself a little more time. Turns what could have been a negative play into a couple-yard gain.
Jim Barber.
Wayne, we're going to talk to you in just a second. This play got something interesting on Church. His math situation is pretty phenomenal. This kid is a 3.8 student out of 4. On top of that, his family actually has some involvements with some financial ventures in Ypsilanti, Michigan. So things are working out well. Should mention, guys, they apparently, according to head coach, own a donut shop. And I've been working all day to try to get you some donuts, but so far no luck.
You know, I'll tell you something. And I stopped by a donut shop and only got a coffee because I was counting on those donuts being here.
You know, the problem, Wayne and Randy, you guys are putting me under way too much pressure in this broadcast. I just want to worry about the game.
Well, you know, Randy and I are great delegators of responsibility here. That's our main job in this production. 3rd down here. 3rd down at about 7. Church looking to make a play. Tried to force it in, and Hendricks knocked it away, and a late flag. He reached from behind Kenny Christian. Tommy Hendricks appeared to knock it away cleanly, but the official on the far side made the call.
We just talked about Walt Church's ability to avoid the first guy. The pressure is going to come from right out here, and as he comes through, Church will step up and then scramble to his right, buys himself the time, and then throws the ball downfield. Nice job of putting that ball in front of his receiver and forcing Whitley to go over the back, or the defensive back to go over the back and knock that down.
So it's a pass interference penalty against Michigan, and it gives Coach Rasnick's Eagles a 1st down at the 28-yard line in Eastern Michigan territory. Michigan leading 17-0 in the final 3 minutes of this, the first quarter in Ann Arbor. Powell, the lone setback. Play action by Church. Lots of time. Over the top. Brandon Campbell. Forced out of bounds at the 2. 72 yards.
Wayne, it all starts with protection. And when you can protect Walt Church like Eastern Michigan just did, it's so hard to cover. Look at the pocket that'll be right here as Church drops back. There's nobody in his face. And when you're playing man-to-man coverage, you have to get to the quarterback. Look how much time he has. He looks to his right, he steps up. This allows Campbell plenty of time to get behind Weathers, and then Church delivers a perfect strike to him.
This is the 6th game between these two schools. Eastern Michigan has never scored on Michigan. Until now, Ethan Bedoy, touchdown.
When you get so few opportunities, when you're undermanned as Eastern Michigan is, to make big plays, you have to take advantage of the opportunities. They took advantage by completing the pass, and then they finished it off by getting the touchdown.
So Eastern Michigan on the board, trailing 17-6. One after touchdown attempt coming up from Justin Ventura, All-American candidate. Gutierrez on the hold, Davenport snap, and it's blocked. James Hall got a piece of it and blocks the extra point try. Take a look at the touchdown run, Ethan Bedoy from a yard away. And then just feeling their oats, feeling some momentum. This can take the wind out of your sails in a hurry.
James Hall just comes right over the middle, oversteps his blocker and gets his hand up there and does a nice job of making contact on the ball for a big block. And Lloyd Carr has not been very happy at all with his special teams so far this season. Today, they've come out with a new intensity and concentration and have done a nice job.
There is the history-making note for Ethan Bedoy and Eastern Michigan. 17-6, Michigan on top.
we have seen, Wayne, Michigan's defense give up more big plays this year than in a long, long time. And what you see is what we just saw with Brandon Campbell. Guys running wide open in the secondary.
Toller Starnes for the kickoff. And back into the end zone. It is down by Anthony Thomas. Michigan will take it at the 20-yard line. Well, Randy, you get a look at the scoring drive right here. 71 yards coming on the big pass play to Brandon Campbell.
Well, the good news is they got the touchdown out of it. But what they didn't do is they didn't chew up some clock and give their defense a rest. Their defense has been out there a lot of the time. They want their offense to score, but they'd like to have them run 10, 12 plays, give that defense a rest.
The point you were making about Michigan's defense. Michigan last year gave up 89 yards rushing per game defensively. That's an excellent stat. That's 7th in the nation. The first run from scrimmage against the Michigan defense this year was a 58-yard run by Autry Dennison at Notre Dame, and that perhaps was a wake-up call and a portent of things to come. And Michigan has been giving up some big plays in the early weeks of the season. Jason Short makes the tackle here as Michigan gets a short gainer. Walter Cross lost a shoe. You don't want to forget that piece of equipment.
Take a look at the outside linebacker here, number 5 for Eastern Michigan, come through into the backfield, and though he doesn't make the tackle, he gets early contact, and this slows up Cross enough for the pursuit to get there and make a tackle for short gain.
Picked the shoe right off his foot. That's what he did.
That slowed him up.
That'll slow you up. 2nd down and 8. Ray Jackson for a first down to the 31-yard line. Tackle made by James Willingham. Gain of about 9 yards.
What we've seen so far, Wayne, is a variety of Michigan backs carrying the ball. Right there, see Ray Jackson carrying it, and that's one thing that they have to have come out of this game. They need to decide what back they're going to go to for the bulk of the Big Ten season, which starts next week. That's why they're giving so many different backs an opportunity here.
Jackson's the lone setback. Terrell is in the slot at the top of your screen. Brady to Tooman in the open field, hit and driven down. Excellent open field tackle made by James Willingham. Willingham, a junior from Flint, Michigan.
Take a look at number 80, Jeremy Tooman, who just slips out into the flat and is wide open. And this is a guy that the Wolverines really need to get into their passing offense. He's only got 3 receptions coming in here. He was their 2nd leading receiver last year. So they need to get him in the offense more and more in order to open up the running game also.
2nd and 8. Cross into the backfield. Outstanding play by Terrence Simmons, the linebacker who rode off his block and made the stop. A loss of 3 yards back to the 29. Now these kids from Ypsilanti, just 6 miles down the road, they're a feisty bunch.
Well, we saw Tooman on a pass reception a minute ago. Here he is trying to get the block, and watch how Simmons just runs him over and pushes him back into the backfield, disrupts the entire running play, makes the play. Not only does he disrupt the play, he comes off the block and makes the tackle.
3rd and 12. Blitz. Brady going to his hot receiver, short of the first down. Lincoln Dupree makes the stop on the far side on Ty Street. Gain of about 6 yards, but far short of a first down, and Michigan forced into punt formation.
What a nice block by 35 Ray Jackson, the fullback, as Brady is dropping back. He's going to come in from the left side of the screen. There he is right there. Comes in with the left side of the screen, picks up that block, and gives Brady a chance to get the ball off.
First quarter comes to a close in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Michigan jumped to a big lead. Eastern Michigan has responded. The Wolverines lead 17-6. Terry men from Army, huh? 13-7 right now. They have the lead. Here, Michigan leading 17-6. Jason Vincent in punt formation. Kewan Douglas back deep for Eastern. Good leverage into this kick. Douglas from the 15. Penalty marker down. High tackle attempt on the far side. Of course, it could be for an illegal block as well. Patrick McCall helped to force him out of the far side. 10-yard return. Bree shake it up on the far side.
What was going to be decent field position is now going to push Eastern Michigan back further to their end zone.
Preliminary indication for holding.
Illegal block in the back on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
It was right the first time. Illegal block. Take a look at it.
You're going to see that it happens right as he starts turning up right here on number 24. Right there, the block right in the back. And it's right in front of the ball carrier, so everybody's looking, but it's so hard to have the discipline not to do that when you think the defensive man's going to make the tackle.
Going nowhere fast. Matter of fact, back him up. They went to the wide receiver, Kenny Christian, to try to loop around, and Dhani Jones would have none of it.
No blocking here for Christian to try and run the ball out of the backfield. Just a simple sweep play and nothing but blue jerseys for Powell to run through.
Loss of 4, 2nd and 14 for Eastern. Powell, the lone setback. They have spread the formation. No tight end. A one-step drop. Christian. Good move there. Another good move. He's out to the 16-yard line. Dhani Jones finally put him away. And a gain of about 7 or 8 yards. Take a look at the Buick first quarter stats. Dominated on the ground by Michigan. They did get that ground game on track as they intended to do. Also, they possessed the football. 8:39 time of possession for Michigan. Another key goal for the Wolverines here today. 3rd down. 5 yards to go for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan. Walt Church in the shotgun. First down to the 26-yard line. Over to make that catch, Eric Ebom. 9-yard gain. Patrick McCall responded from the Michigan secondary.
Well, here was a chance for Michigan's defense to take some of the momentum away from Eastern Michigan. 3rd and long. They don't get much pressure, and what a beautiful pass by Church. Past the first down stake, so it's a first down. But now Eastern Michigan, after scoring, stopping Michigan and then backed up, they've got some things going for them here, Wayne.
Powell runs into a wall. Jim Barber, what do you have for us?
Wayne, when I was on the Eastern Michigan sidelines moments ago, not only the elation for the touchdown, but also the emphasis of keeping the passing game going. The conversation with Campbell and Sheffield is we're going to continue to attack Michigan, just like the 70-yard pass that set up the first score. So, as conservative as people thought they might be running the ball at times, even in their own territory, they want to put it up. They see some defensive lapses, and they want to go right at the Wolves.
Yeah, they have effectively spread Michigan's defense on occasion here. Right now, they're facing 2nd and 11, and it looks like Church is calling an audible at the line. Going over the top. Oh, what a catch. Jermaine Sheffield to the midfield marker, and there is the matchup. 6'5", Jermaine Sheffield. 25-yard gain. There is a penalty marker down in the play. Penalty marker thrown at the 45 where Sheffield made the leap.
Dead ball foul, personal foul, defense. Dead ball foul, personal foul, offense, offset, result of the play, first down.
So the play stands. Andre Weathers was the man they worked Sheffield on.
What a nice job of Church throwing the ball high enough and getting the ball up in the air in a place where Sheffield could catch it. 6'5", he's looking back. Now, when you're wide open like this, when you spread that defense, you give your receivers a chance to go one-on-one.
Quick toss to the flank. Penalty markers all over the play. Kenny Christian out of bounds at the 40-yard line on a gain of 9. Andre Weathers chased him out, but again, penalty markers down very early in that play. Might be against the offense for a false start. You know, the thing that they're doing, Randy, as we get the indication now from the referee, they're able to spread Michigan's defense with the 4 wide receivers.
Well, what they want to do is when you spread the defense like that, you want to try and get it one-on-one as much as you can. They can't play 11-on-11 against Michigan because Michigan is bigger and stronger and faster. But they stand a better chance if they can make it down to a one-on-one. Get the ball to your wideouts, let the linebackers not be a factor, and let your wideouts make a one-on-one move and pick up some big plays. And so far, this drive, it's worked very well.
Now it's 1st and 15 off the penalty. Church from the shotgun. Not known for his running ability. Gets 2 on that little plunge off the left side as he ad-libbed just a bit. And so it'll be 2nd down coming up. About 13 yards to go. Ironic that Eastern Michigan has moved to this spot on the field, and they've had tough luck on 1st down on this particular drive.
You see Eric Powell right there fake like he's going up for the ball. Here you see Church step up in the pocket. When it breaks down, at least tries to get as many positive yards as he can, avoid the big sack.
3 receivers at the top of your screen, 2 to the bottom. No setbacks except for Church. Off the hands of Powell, intercepted on the play. William Peterson elevated to the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan.
Well, we weren't sure how much William Peterson was even going to play today, coming in with an injury. Nice job of trying to get the ball outside, but when you tip the ball up in the air over the middle, chances are it gets intercepted, and William Peterson in a perfect spot turns it into a big play for the defense. We talked in the open. The defense had not been creating plays, creating turnovers. This is really a pretty well-thrown ball. Powell should have had it, even though it was a little high, tipped it right into Peterson's hand. So one of the few times this year, this Michigan defense creating things, making things happen. This time it results in points.
Michigan leading 23-6, and that's Vance Danzy, the starting right guard for Eastern Michigan, shaken up on that play as he tried to get over and make a tackle.
When you just started to feel the momentum go towards the Eastern Michigan side, they had stopped Michigan on offense. They'd put some things together offensively themselves, got some 1st downs, and now all of a sudden the interception and things turn against them.
Well, that's Eric Powell's 2nd game. As you watch Walt Church in that shotgun, and again they had spread the formation.
See the blitzer coming right at him, but it still was a pretty good throw. Should have been caught.
Catchable ball, and Peterson certainly did make the play on it and all the way down the sidelines. 23-6 Michigan in the early going 2nd quarter in Ann Arbor. And a tough break for Rick Rasnick's Eagles. A pass off the hands of Eric Powell, intercepted by William Peterson. He motored to the end zone for the score. Feely adds the point after. And Michigan has a 24-6 lead with 11:17 to go in this 1st half. We'll be in Champaign next week. And Mike Gleason, what do you have on the Illini and the Cardinals of Louisville?
Well, Wayne, of course, Illinois trying to make it to 2 straight. This update brought to you by GTE. But the Cardinals grab the upper hand here. Chris Redmond goes upstairs, 26 yards to Arnold Jackson. Does a nice job of picking his lanes to find the end zone. Now, the Cardinals just returned a punt for a score, but it was called back. So, here in the 2nd, it's 7-3 Louisville over Illinois. Wayne?
I'll tell you what, Illinois fell behind Middle Tennessee State early last week and able to come back to win and break an 18-game losing streak. And again, we'll see the Illini against the Iowa Hawkeyes next week. William Peterson, 51 yards on that gallop to the end zone. He was injured in 2-a-day practices, and that set him back a little bit, Randy, and he didn't play a whole lot in the first couple of weeks of the season. And as you mentioned, we didn't know of his status really for sure in this game.
Well, I think he's going to play a lot more from here on out.
We know his status now.
Exactly. Michigan, as we've said, only 1 interception in the first 2 games today, already 2 of them, both of them big plays. 1 resulting in that touchdown there.
Ewan Douglas, the principal deep back. Epstein's kick. Carries to Lincoln Dupree. He muffs it in the sun. Covered up by Douglas across the 10 near the 12-yard line. James Whitley got down there in coverage for Michigan, but Lincoln Dupree able to make the muffed it. Watch it here. Watch this. Now, you cannot advance a muff, and he lost it in the sun. Hit him right in the face mask, it looked like, and then Douglas able to recover. Advance Auto Parts is proud to be the title sponsor for today's Big Ten matchup, the Eastern Michigan Eagles and the Michigan Wolverines. We are in beautiful Ann Arbor on a picture postcard afternoon for college football. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber on our sidelines. Eastern Michigan first down from the 12. Kenny Christian cut off at the pass near the 14-yard line, gain of a couple of yards. Dhani Jones has been very active today in the linebacking core for Michigan.
Well, if you're going to try and throw this now screen, as Eastern Michigan calls it, you need to get some blocking by your wide receivers. That time Eastern Michigan, both their wideouts whiffed, gave no room for the receiver to turn the ball upfield. A nice job by Michigan getting through there and making that tackle.
They mark it as a gain of 3, 2nd and 7. Michigan showing blitz from the corner of the linebacking core. Powell gets a quick hitter up the middle. He picks up about 4 yards to the 19-yard line. Rob Reedus, the veteran nose tackle, makes the stop.
We saw Powell step forward a couple plays ago and fake as though he were taking the snap. This time
he does.
Gets the snap, turns it into a positive game. At least now as a 3rd 2 or 3, Eastern Michigan can stay in that quick 1-step, 2-step pass pattern rhythm that they used effectively so far.
3rd down and a manageable 3 yards to go. Powell is alongside Church. Church, plenty of time. Sheffield took a lick but keeps on ticking. He's able to haul it in for a first down near the 29-yard line. Dwayne Patman put the hit on the play.
Once again, Church has all the time he needs to read downfield, and he comes off his main receiver, picks up Sheffield coming right over the middle. We talked earlier, Rick Rasnick likes to put a receiver or back in front of the quarterback in case things break down. At that time, Church knew right where to go, results in a first down.
Coming up on 9.5 minutes to go, and Powell running hard. Again, they close that hole. Sam Sword filling the lane. Gain of maybe 2 yards. To get inside the huddle of your favorite Big Ten team, go online at www.big10.org for all the football and conference news from around the Big Ten. And there is a huge press box here at Michigan. We'll get down to Jim Barber in just a moment to get an update on Vance Danzy, who was helped off the field a moment ago for Eastern Michigan. 2nd down, about 8 yards to go. There's the snap to the halfback once again. And Powell out across the 36-yard line. So pick him up about 3 or 4. Dhani Jones made the stop. Jim, what do you have?
Wayne, Vance Dancy is headed off to the locker room for Eastern Michigan. He was injured on that interception. It apparently is a sprained knee and some possible ligament damage, Wayne.
And he was starting in place of the injured Craig Sippa, who tore tendons in his thumb against Northern Iowa and hasn't played since. So they're getting a little thin on the interior of that offensive line. 3rd down, and again about 3 yards to go. Church screens to Christian for the first down to the 45-yard line. Nicely done. 9-yard gain. Eric Brackens recovered in the linebacking core of Michigan.
Very well designed, well developed play. It's a timing play. Christian does a nice job. Take a look. It's going to go to the left side of Church. He holds the ball, lets the rush come in, throws the ball in front of Christian. Then he splits the defenders. He doesn't try and pick up more yards by going around him, knowing he only needs so many yards for the first down, splits him and picks it up. Very well executed play.
Powell hammered in the middle of the line. James Hall delivering the blow. Eric Wilson was also there for Michigan. James Hall, number 56. Boy, he has made his presence known here today.
Boy, he has. There's just no room for Powell to run. Take a look at Jordan coming right in there. Hall, nothing but blue jerseys, and Hall does a nice job of getting back relatively close to the line of scrimmage.
Anthony Jordan was at the base of that tackle attempt.
Boy, he's going to be a good one, isn't he?
Redshirt freshman, you bet. 2nd down and about 10. Nothing doing on that little screen pass. As they got it out to Jamal Stevens. James Whitley responded quickly from Michigan in a loss of a couple of yards. Stevens went 51 yards against Ball State last week in Muncie. There is Jamal Stevens, true freshman.
Another one of the young receivers that Eastern Michigan will just rotate, almost like University of Michigan does with their backs, that's what we're seeing with Eastern Michigan with their wide receivers.
3rd and 13. Benoit is alongside Walt Church. Sheffield for the first down out of bounds in front of Lloyd Carr and the Michigan Wolverine bench. Larry Foote, inside linebacker, forced him out. First down out of 16-yard gain. I'll tell you something, Randy. You mentioned it a moment ago. This short passing game, these quick swing passes, well designed and so far, for the most part, well executed by the quarterback. The one interception return for the touchdown
was a good pass that should have been caught.
Not
only is Church doing a nice job of executing it, but the receivers are running very disciplined routes so the quarterback knows where they are. Very, very well executed so far by both parts, quarterback and receiver.
Ethan Benoit slips a tackle attempt. Got by Jordan, but could not get by Whitley and Dehani Jones. Today's Big Ten game is brought to you by GTE, official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and a Big Ten corporate partner.
Wayne, I think this Eastern Michigan offense is gaining some confidence here in the second quarter. They've been backed up twice. They had the one bad play that resulted in the touchdown off of a drop, but they have moved the ball after that touchdown, and I think they're gaining confidence with every play.
Sheffield and Kenny Christian to the top of your screen. Brzezinski in motion. The rush is on. A little sidearm to Ethan Benoit. Picks up a block and down he goes. Craig Sippa, who did not start this ball game, I mentioned had been injured since the opening week of the season, delivered the block, but Eric Brecken's able to make the play. A short gain for Eastern Michigan, and they'll face a 3rd down coming up.
Nice job by Church, knowing it's a screen and he's got an unblocked player coming from right here is where the unblocked player is going to come. Church drifts to the side of the screen, so it's an easier throw. If he tries to drift away from the defender, he can't get it there. He drifts to the player, throws it sidearm. Nice play.
3rd down and about 4. Tackle attempt broken, but the play not broken for a first down. And that again, Stevens, the receiver. Jamal Stevens, the freshman. Larry Foote put him away just short of the first down. They're about 1.5 yards short.
And Wayne, even though he didn't make the first down, that's the 2nd or 3rd time we've seen a wide receiver break a tackle and pick up more yards after that. Had he been brought down at first contact, it'd be 4th and 4 now instead of 4th and 1.5 or 2.
Under 5 minutes to go, second quarter.
This is where not being a strong running team really can hurt you.
Church on the roll. Tough pass trying to hit Brzezinski or Ben Washington. So Eastern Michigan fails at its 4th down attempt. Michigan will take over at its 35, leading 24-6. River connects these two academic institutions. Starting in Michigan's North Campus, it runs past Eastern Michigan Stadium, just 6 miles away. Meanwhile, Michigan leading 24-6, and the Wolverines take over at their 35-yard line, and number 7, Drew Henson from Brighton, Michigan, comes on.
Much to the applaud of the crowd, very pleased with that.
First down to the 35-yard line. Anthony Thomas, and they were waiting for him on that play. Gain of 1 yard maybe. That's about it. Matt Driscoll led the way.
I think it'd be safe to say, Wayne, that Drew Henson is the popular player here, coming area boy, and certainly very, very talented. They have very high expectations for him.
Last week he had several drop passes on him, 7 of 20, 92 yards and a touchdown. Made some mistakes, according to Lloyd Carr. Lloyd said at one point Drew made 3 straight mistakes. Lloyd said he's not used to making mistakes like that. Thomas to the 40-yard line, gain of about 4 yards. Driscoll and Russell team up on the stop. The Eastern Michigan Eagles came up with a football, but the play had been whistled dead. Henson, drafted by the Yankees on the 3rd round. He would have been a first-round draft choice. And had he not made it known that he intended fully to play college football.
That's one of the things that the Michigan coaches want him to work on, is they need him to focus totally on football. He's an area player. He's got baseball on his mind. If he focuses 100% on football, they think there's no limit to how good he can be.
Third down, a little bit more than 5 yards to go. The pass knocked down, incomplete. Scott Russell, a true freshman from Dunbar Vocational in Chicago. Here to get a piece of it. And let's see if we can pick it up, Randy. This is a laser.
Take a look at 44 Russell coming from his linebacker spot, coming from the right side. Gets his hands up there. Does a nice job of knocking this ball down.
And then he said, ouch, ooh, that hurt. Jason Vinson in punt formation. Did not get off a very good kick here. Does get a Michigan bounce. And they down it at the 23-yard line. Break of the action just over 3 minutes to go. First half. Michigan on the lead.
Kick is down to 22 by
Eastern Michigan, although the kids from Ypsilanti have had a little bit to cheer about here today. Special teams have been anything but special for Michigan this season. Last week against Syracuse, number 41 Tommy Hendricks misses a block that allows the Syracuse rush to get to the punter Jason Vinson. And watch again, it's not only the missed block, but the low snap to Vinson that throws off the timing of the play. There's the block, and that helped lead to a Syracuse score. Now, a couple of weeks ago against Notre Dame, 3 missed field goals and a blocked field goal. And as we saw a block punt a few moments ago, just a 36-yard. And here's the rush on, and Michigan creating defensively. They're ruling the play down. It's Eastern Michigan football.
Nice job of outside pressure by the Michigan safeties. Tommy Hendricks, number 41, up there at the line of scrimmage. Comes off almost untouched. Sandwiches Church in the backfield, forcing the sack, close to a fumble.
7-yard loss on the play. There's the turnover story.
Well, you felt that Eastern Michigan was getting into some kind of rhythm offensively. The way you disrupt that is you start blitzing, you bring linebackers, you change things up.
Walt Church out of the shotgun, 3 receivers, top of your screen to spread the defense. And they go to the short man, and that's the running back Powell. He slips a defender. Powell out across the 25 to the 29-yard line. Gain of 14 quick yards. Sam Sword tracked him down.
We talked earlier, you need to have blocking by your wide receivers when you want to be successful to the outside. Take a look here at the block on the defensive back by right there, number 25. Watch this block. There's a missed tackle right there. The block, as I showed you, opens up a lot of yards for Powell.
Tell you what, Eric Powell showed a little shift in his hips there, didn't he? To get around James Whitley.
Your defensive back, you got to make those tackles in the open field.
Third down at about 5. Quick toss, first down. Eric Ebom on the reception. He is a true freshman from Columbus, Ohio. Gain of 7. Patrick McCall forced him out.
Eastern Michigan offense overcoming a sack on first down, 2nd and 17. 2 nice pass plays. They now have a first down, a minute 43 to go. They can come down here if they can continue to execute, at least maybe get 3 points on the board.
In their last drive, they overcame 3 instances of negative plays on first downs to sustain the drive out to midfield. Not much there. Michigan has not given up a whole lot in the interior of the defense on the ground, and Eric Powell finds the going tough. Nate Miller met him in the interior of that Michigan defense. Coming up at halftime, National Car Rental halftime report, Big Ten scores and highlights, a feature on Iowa coach Hayden Fry, and we'll see Hayden next week in Champaign. Iowa plays later tonight out in Arizona, out in the desert. 2nd down, about 11. Here's the snap to the halfback. Ethan Benoit slips a defender and gets out across the 40-yard line. Boy, these backs from Eastern Michigan, Randy, they have run hard here. Good 2nd and 3rd efforts. Whitley finally made the stop there. A gain of about 5 or 6 yards.
You've seen a lot of missed tackles by the Michigan defense. This time you'll see the direct snap that'll go right to Benoit. And as you said, running hard, doesn't go down right there. Picks up another 5 or 6 yards, but we've seen missed tackles on wide receivers and on running backs, which have enabled Eastern Michigan to continue drives.
4 receivers in the game. Eastern 6 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Oh, nice shoestring catch, and they rule incomplete. Apparently the ball hit the ground first. Jermaine Sheffield almost had a clean pick there. And that would have been a first down out to the 50-yard line.
A lot of cushion given up by the cornerback Andre Weathers, and Church taking advantage of that, trying to get the ball to Sheffield and let him work one-on-one. That time just didn't throw the ball high enough. Take a look at this. We'll see whether from this angle we can tell whether it touched the ground, and right there looked like he got his hands underneath it.
Exactly. Looked like he got the hands under the ball that time. But
I have been very impressed with Jermaine Sheffield. A big receiver, 6'5", 200 pounds.
Timeout taken by Eastern Michigan. They're going to talk things over here. They face a 4th down and almost 4 yards to go. .24 seconds to go in this first half. Eastern Michigan down 24-6. Another timeout taken after Eastern came out and showed punt formation. And don't forget, coming up next week, our Big Ten matchup, the Iowa Hawkeyes against the Fighting Illini of Illinois. Head coach Hayden Fry, the dean of Big Ten coaches, and All-America defensive tackle and sack specialist Jared DeVries head to Champaign, Illinois, to take on a scrappy bunch of Fighting Illini, led by linebacker Danny Clark. Don't forget to join us and check your local listings next Saturday, noon Eastern, for Big Ten football from ESPN+. And with any luck at all, we'll get weather just like we have here today. It is a beautiful afternoon in Michigan. Michigan came into this game wanting to establish the ground game. They have done that, but another thing they wanted to do is control the football. They wanted to possess the football. Well, look at these numbers.
And this is really a turnaround. Michigan was leading at the end of the first quarter in time of possession, but because they made some big plays defensively and Eastern Michigan has been backed up, they've been able to control the ball through their passing game. 239 yards of total offense, 213 of that through the air for Eastern Michigan.
Nick Avandet in punt formation. James Whitley back in single safety for Michigan. Davenport on the snap. Kind of a line drive kick. Whitley from his 22. Good move there. A little sleight of hand, perhaps, but he bellies back inside the 20. Does get the corner. Forced out of bounds of the 25. James Whitley did more running east than west. Scored 24-6 at halftime for Michigan. Kind of a mixed bag. They wanted to get their ground game on track. And Randy Wright, they did that real early here this afternoon.
Absolutely. That's what they needed to do. They wanted to control the ball through the ground and through the air. And they've had so much success on the ground, they really haven't needed to do much through the air.
Take a look at the highlights of this first half of play. And let's start right from the top for the Michigan Wolverines.
Here you see the very first play of the game. Anthony Thomas running down the right sideline, 36 yards, and this has really set the tone for what has happened the entire game. Michigan very, very successful on the ground. Now you see the interception return for the touchdown, a pretty nice pass. Patterson just picks up the ball out of the air, takes it in for the end zone. This stops the Eastern Michigan drive when they had some momentum going. The big play for Eastern Michigan, 71-yard pass play, plenty of time to throw. This started Eastern Michigan going again, gets them down to the 1-yard line, which they scored a couple plays later. But this was a confidence booster for them as they've been able to do very, very well moving the ball on offense, especially in that second quarter.
Take a look at the halftime numbers.
Take a look at this. Rushing Michigan.
Michigan had the ball for 10 minutes, 30 seconds. Much of that in that first quarter when they did get their ground game on track. Eastern Michigan with a short passing game. You see just 26 yards rushing, but 213 yards through the air. And a lot of those quick swing passes, they spread the formation, spread out the Michigan defense, and found some holes in it. Michigan will be kicking off. Coach Rick Rasnick has his team ready to go, and Coach Carr at Michigan, his team plays on the lead at halftime. And they have not been used to being on this big a lead this season. The first two games of the campaign hotly contested early and then turned into blowouts against Michigan later on at Notre Dame. And, of course, here against Syracuse a week ago. Epstein set to kick it away. Good leverage into this kick. Chasing it back deep. Isaac Shipp takes it on the end line. And it'll be first down at the 20-yard line for the Eagles. Our halftime leaders, Walt Church there again working the short passing game. One of those interceptions returned by William Peterson, of course, was a tip ball. Michigan 4 of 7 passing for Brady. Thomas 10 carries, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns for Anthony Thomas. Eastern Michigan puts it in play, first down. Eric Powell trying to find a hole off the left side of the line. Not much of one. He got a yard. Mid portion of that Michigan defense was there. Rob Renas in the middle of the line. Grabbed his ankles and would not let go.
Wayne, I think if you're Eastern Michigan, you want to pick up here in the second half with exactly what you did in the first half. They had a lot of success with a few inside running plays, but throwing the ball to the outside, this quick rhythm passing offense, which keeps the rush away from you. They just need to cut down on some of their turnovers. For Michigan, you got to make the tackle. You can't have any missed tackles with those wide open receivers in the open field.
Eastern Michigan's done a good job of protecting Walt Church for the most part. There's the quick slant. They tried to get it to Sheffield. The pass overthrown. Whitley had the coverage for Michigan. And a 3rd and 9 coming up for Eastern Michigan.
Nice job that time by the secondary, reading what was happening and getting to the spot almost before Sheffield could. He really didn't give much of a lane that time for Church to throw the ball.
Coach Rasnick says that Walt Church is ahead of Charlie Batch at this stage of their development, and that he's just a sophomore.
I've been very impressed with the way he has thrown the ball here in the first half.
Charlie Batch will start tomorrow for the Detroit Lions of the National Football League at Minnesota. There's that little swing pass. Jamal Stevens, and in heavy traffic, down he goes. Joaquin Fazal, the defensive lineman, makes a tackle on a wide receiver. That doesn't happen very often. So it is 4th down. And Eastern Michigan will return the football to Michigan.
Nice job here on the inside rush, but he reads the play, and as he reads it, he comes off and is there to make the tackle. Good job of rushing with your head up and rushing with your eyes to see what's happening.
Nick Avandet in punt formation. It's away a beautiful kick. Whitley on the retreat. Over his head. He fields it at the 13. Couple of good moves into the clear. And gives up the football, and it's taken away from him on the near side by the linebacker, Ken Philpott. Philpott took it away. Vitito forced it loose, perhaps, but let's get a look at that again, Randy. It just looked like, it almost looked like Whitley wanted a lateral to somebody the way he was holding it.
Well, I think it got knocked out by first contact. You'll see the ball. See if he doesn't bobble it with this hit right here. Now it's loose.
Yep, it's coming out right
and
there.
It comes right there, right into Philpott's arms, and he does a nice job of, once again, keeping his eyes open and maintaining control of that ball.
My goodness, how about the reaction? Philpott. Well, it's a big play for that freshman, a redshirt freshman out of Chicago, Illinois.
Special team nightmares continue for the Wolverines.
Sure do. Walt Church over the top, Sheffield, over the shoulder, catch, touchdown! 37-yard touchdown pass. Walt Church to Jermaine Sheffield. One play off the Michigan turnover. Eastern Michigan's in the end zone.
For the second time today, Wayne, Eastern Michigan doing a nice job of capitalizing when they get a break. What a beautiful route this time by Sheffield. Church does a nice job of standing in there and puts the ball out in front of Sheffield. He doesn't throw it behind him where the defensive back has a chance to knock it down. He throws the ball out in front. And for James Whitley, 2 plays in a row he'd like to forget.
Justin Ventura for the point after. And Eastern Michigan, a quick cash of a Michigan turnover. And the Eagles climb back into it, trailing by 11. Early this afternoon, junior, Strongsville, Ohio, 6'5". He's the tallest receiver Michigan has seen yet this year, and he uses his height and his physical size to advantage.
Does a nice job of keeping the ball in front of him. He doesn't let Whitley get a chance to get his hand up there. Keeps his body between the defender and the ball. Nice job.
Clarence Williams wisely down to the end zone. The momentum of the kick took that back into the end zone, although Williams had touched it near the 4-yard line. But it'll be first down from Michigan from there. We are in Ann Arbor, Michigan Stadium, about 110,000 on hand. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber's on our sidelines for us, and we have been given an indication that Ty Streets, the wide receiver for Michigan, sprained ankle, may be doubtful for the rest of the game. We'll see a lot of different receivers for Michigan, though, in this second half. No question about that.
They're going to start here with 2 tight ends and 2 backs and maybe try and pound this ball at Eastern Michigan like they did the first half.
Brady off play action. There's the swing pass. Jackson, nice move to get by the linebacker. And then ushered toward the chalk marks near the 26-yard line. Pickup of about 6-7 yards on that play. Troy Campbell made the stop. Jim Barber, what you find out at halftime?
It's interesting, Wayne. Rick West, we are not going to stop attack Michigan. Although we had that pick in the first half that was run back for a score and kind of changed some of the momentum. We're still going to go at them, and I think you saw that in the first drive of the third quarter. Eastern Michigan hardly intimidated by the rivals just a few miles away, and it shows we have a pretty competitive game. That's what Rasnick thought would happen.
Not much there for the veteran running back Clarence Williams. He got back to the line of scrimmage, or maybe not. Might have lost a yard on that play. It's going to set up a third down at about 4. Matt Driscoll, the inside linebacker, stepped up to make the play.
I think Coach Rasnick has got to be very pleased with the way his defense has played. They're undersized, and they know that. They didn't think they could stand toe-to-toe. But for a defensive unit that only returned 2 starters off of last year's squad, I think they're playing with a lot of emotion, and they're doing a nice job of the best they can.
Terrell's in the slot on the bottom of your screen. He's got all the speed. A soft coverage. Quick toss. That's Terrell. First down. Can he make something happen? Not that time. Ran into some traffic. Terrence Simmons, a linebacker, on the stop, but enough for the first down. Gain of 10 yards.
Every successful pass play has got to start with protection, and Ray Jackson does a real nice job. Watch him here. He's going to come across and pick up the block, and that's going to give Brady a chance to throw the ball right over his shoulder. Nice job of getting it to Terrell, picking up the first down. We've seen Jackson run the ball. We've seen him catch it. Now we've seen him block it. A complete player.
From the 37, a short drop by Brady. And nowhere to go. Boy, an excellent tackle made by Lincoln Dupree as he brought down the Michigan running back, Clarence Williams. Boy, one-on-one of the open field. A gain of just 3 yards. Could have been a whole lot more. And one thing about this Eastern Michigan defense, Randy, that is impressive. They do a lot of different things. They bring people pressure from different parts. They bring pressure from a lot of different angles, and they are well schooled for a relatively new group of players playing together in their third game.
Very much so. They don't make many mental mistakes, and that's very unusual for a young team.
Ray Jackson running hard close to the first down of the 47-yard line. Willingham in on that tackle for Eastern Michigan. First down on a pickup of about 7.
Nice job by left tackle Jeff Backus. He threw an excellent block that frees Jackson into the secondary. You'll see him right over here. Watch his block, and that'll free Jackson to run right over him. Nice kick out block, and Jackson does a nice job of setting him up there, bringing the defensive back to the outside. Then as Backus gets position, cuts right up behind him.
First down for the Michigan Wolverines at the Michigan 47. Jackson again to the 44-yard line of Eastern Michigan. Gain of almost 9 yards. David McCall, the free safety, was shaken up early in the game, but has returned, made the stop. Came in as the leading tackler. I should say Donald McCall on that stop.
And these 2 safeties, we talked about them earlier, Wayne. They are very active. They're good size, 190, 186 pounds, and they come up there and they're almost like linebackers with the way they can hit.
2nd and 1. Jackson cuts it back. Slips by one defender and is down near the 35-yard line. Demetrius Johnson missed him. Donald McCall got him, but not before a first down is gained. Pickup of about 6 yards. Ray Jackson starting to get himself on track here in the second half.
Boy, all good backs run with their eyes, and Jackson did a nice job of seeing that hole open way to the left side of where the ball was intended to go. Did a nice job. Definitely the workhorse here so far on this drive.
First down from the 36. Anthony Thomas reaching on the stretch play inside the 35-yard line. Going to mark it near the 33. Gain of a couple of yards.
Not a bad job of that right side of that Eastern Michigan defensive front, not getting pushed back. Earlier we saw them get sealed pretty effectively in some big holes. This time they're holding their ground and keeping that down to a 3 or 4 yard gain.
Second down for Michigan. About 6 to go. Marcus Knight. Not sure if he got tripped up by his own man, but he goes down anyway, just short of the first down inside the 30. He had some running room ahead of him, Randy.
That's such a timing play. Your quarterback's got to get the ball, get it out there cleanly, and it's hard sometimes for that receiver to catch it coming in so quickly. Watch the block right here on number 80. That ball's going to be out of there, and he's going to throw the block way to the right side, and Knight's going to cut right behind him. Right there's the block. And Knight comes in right behind him, trips over his own man, the second man on the inside.
He did, didn't he?
Tough enough when you're playing 11 of them.
Friends like that, you don't need enemies. You got both sides covered. Third and about 4. Brady hit as he throws. Jeremy Tillman first down. Nice catch. 25-yard line.
Brady's pass is complete to Jeremy Tillman.
What a nice job of Tom Brady standing in the pocket, knowing he had some poor protection. Does a good job knowing he's going to get hit and throwing the ball to his receiver. Watch this right here. Watch, he's going to miss his man, and that's going to put a lot of pressure right on Brady. Nice move to the inside. Brady sees it, stands in there, throws the ball low in a position where only his receiver can catch it.
Takes a little intestinal fortitude to stand in there that long. Thomas breaking tackles, moving the pile. To the 18-yard line of Eastern Michigan. Demetrius Johnson on the stop. Gain of about 6.
Take a look at the contact going on down here. Here's Brady back. This is one of the hardest things, Wayne, when you know you're going to get hit as a quarterback. Sometimes you get hit on the backside and you don't see it. You don't prepare for it. It's okay. That one, you know you're going to get hit. Third down, you know you got to get that first down, though.
That's why you quarterbacks get all the adulation.
That's why we're up here, too.
Thomas, nice cutback. First down inside the 14-yard line of the 13 of Eastern Michigan. Willingham in from the secondary to make the stop. We are in Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan on an idyllic college football afternoon. 24-13, Michigan on top of the Wolverines, driving here in the third quarter.
Michigan doing a nice job of mixing some run and some pass here. They tried to work on the passing game. They wanted to work on it. Didn't have to use it a lot in the first half. This drive, a nice job.
Thomas trying to grind it out to the 11-yard line. Gain of a couple of yards there.
Nice job by Matt Driscoll, one of the inside linebackers for Eastern Michigan, number 45, getting into the backfield. Some penetration forces Thomas to change his path, slows him down a little bit, let some of the other Eagles come over there and make the tackle. You'll see him get into the backfield right here, disrupts the blocking right there, gets tangled, gets a little arm, something on his feet, really disrupts the rhythm. No place for Thomas to run.
Second down and 8. Brady threw it behind Jeremy Tillman. Third down coming up for Michigan. Brady was getting chased in the offensive backfield that time by Matt Driscoll, and that may have been the reason why he came across the body with that throw.
Eastern Michigan, here you'll see Tillman right here. He tries to just take a little chuck onto the rusher and then get out there, but Brady doesn't get the ball to him quickly enough. Pressure's in his face. If he can get that ball to him quickly, stand a better chance of letting Tillman make an adjustment and have room to run after he catches it.
Third down. Marcus Knight did not get the first down, didn't come close. Swarming defense for Eastern Michigan, led by Scott Russell, the true freshman out of Dunbar Vocational in Chicago. Gain of barely a couple of yards there, and they got a gain of 3, and it'll be fourth down.
Watch this block by Jeremy Tillman. The ball's thrown right behind him and just delivers the blow right there. Good pursuit by that Eagle defense. Kept Knight from picking up the first down, but Jeremy Tillman doing the job.
Jay Feely, 25-yard field goal attempt. And Michigan getting the field goal unit on track with a couple here this afternoon. There's a penalty marker down to the 15-yard line. Michigan has struggled in the kicking game this season, and let's see what it is now. Personal foul, roughing the kicker against EMU. Watch it here.
Take a look. Feely gets the ball up. It just comes right into his leg, and personal foul will give Michigan the choice here.
Demetrius Johnson, the guilty party.
The receiving team, the result of the play is half the distance to the goal, automatic first down.
So Michigan gets a reprieve, and the Wolverines will put it in play. First and goal inside the 5-yard line. Boy, that's a big turnaround there.
Boy, it is. As you said, when you stopped them, that was really an emotional victory for Eastern Michigan after the Wolverines had driven down. They played with some intensity, swarming defense, kept them out of the end zone, and then for special teams play to let something like that happen, you wonder how much more this Eagle defense has.
And this is the kind of drive Lloyd Carr wanted to see, a long time consuming drive. Michigan has possessed the football better than 7 minutes on this particular drive as they look to add to their lead.
In Ann Arbor with the Wolverines leading 24-13. Take a look right here as this defender will come through untouched, and he just gets too far back into the backfield and runs into Feely. He just catches his leg there. A little bit of acting going on, but that enables the Wolverines to continue their drive with a first down after a nice defensive stand by the Eagles.
And certainly that was an emotional defensive stand that had forced fourth down, so a costly mistake there. And now Michigan first down to the 4-yard line of Eastern Michigan. Jackson in motion. Thomas wide open to the end zone. Just a jog in the park. Thomas scores again. Anthony Thomas, third touchdown of the afternoon, a 4-yard touchdown gallop.
Well, you take a look how they'll just seal the entire right side of that offensive defensive front, and Thomas just walks through with nobody even coming close. There's not even anybody out there for 35 Jackson to block.
And the point after by Feely is good. Michigan has increased its advantage to 31-13. So from forcing a field goal to allowing this run by Anthony Thomas after a roughing the kicker penalty, Eastern now behind the 8 ball. Wayne Larrabee along with Randy Wright and Jim Barber back in Ann Arbor, Michigan on top 31-13 off a long touchdown drive, both in terms of yardage and time. 5:59 left to go in this third quarter. But the roughing the kicker penalty on Demetrius Johnson allowed Michigan to go from settling for a field goal on that long drive to scoring a touchdown, and that has turned the momentum of this ball game perhaps for good.
What a big play. You just can't give a team that's got superior talent and depth that many opportunities, and emotionally you just felt Eastern Michigan didn't think they could stop them again.
Epstein's kickoff is deep, and Ship takes it in the end zone. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Eastern Michigan. Well, Jermaine Sheffield, the wide receiver at 6'5" and 202 out of Strongsville, Ohio, has been a big man in Eastern Michigan plans. Number 84 is the tallest receiver Michigan has seen, and he has used his size and his speed to make some plays here this afternoon. Let's take a look at the Phillips Petroleum first half highlight. Jermaine Sheffield. Watch him, number 84 against Andre Weathers, up over the top for a big play in the first half. And there is Sheffield right now as we pick it up in the third quarter. Walt Church in the shotgun. Eric Powell alongside. The play goes to Powell. Chased down by Sam Sword and company at the 25-yard line, gain of about 5 yards.
Well, I've been impressed in the first half and so far here in this third quarter, Wayne, the discipline that these wide receivers and running backs run these pass routes. It's such a timing offense. The slightest miscue can result in a turnover or a mistake, but they're right where they need to be. They don't drop many passes, and they can run with the ball after they catch it.
2nd down and 5. Eric Ebom in motion. Church. Overshot his intended receiver Pete Nikes. You know, you talked about the Eastern Michigan passing game, and mentioned earlier, Rick Rasnick, the head coach, when he was the offensive coordinator out at San Jose State, his offense ranked 5th in the nation in 1990. 3 years later at Utah, again they ranked 5th in the nation. And with Charlie Batch at the controls last year, this offense was pretty potent indeed.
And I can see why. They've got a very good philosophy, and they do a nice job. They believe in it.
3rd and 5. There's the one-step drop. And a beautiful tackle made by Andre Weathers to upend Kenny Christian. No gain, 4th down. Boy, that was a great play by Andre Weathers on the flank of the defense.
First, he did a nice job of recognizing the play. He comes up, even though Sheffield is on him. Sheffield can't get the block. And Weathers goes right through the block, comes up here and makes the tackle. Nice job.
Whitley back in single safety to receive. Nick Avandet in punt formation. Line drive kick, Whitley, very returnable from the 32. By one defender, 35, chased to the sidelines on the far side of the 38-yard line. Joe Carroll led the charge across the way, and Michigan will take over 1st and 10. Next week's Big Ten matchup from Champaign-Urbana, the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Illinois Fighting Illini. Hayden Fry, the Dean of Big Ten coaches, an All-America defensive tackle. Jared DeVries head to Champaign to take on Illinois, a scrappy bunch of Fighting Illini led by linebacker Danny Clark. Don't forget to check your local listings next Saturday, noon Eastern. First down, Michigan. Brady has a man out there. Marcus Knight to the 29-yard line of Eastern Michigan. He beat Demetrius Johnson.
Nice job by Brady picking up the fact Knight was wide open, and Knight's been relatively quiet today. Going to be on the right side of your screen. They've got 2 receivers running down, only 1 defender back there. Brady picks the inside guy, who's the open one, throws a nice pass. And Knight, who, as I said, been relatively quiet today, makes a big play.
Again, Ty Street's down with an ankle injury here this afternoon. Jackson's been a workhorse in the 3rd quarter. Roped down by Demetrius Johnson. Nice cover by Johnson, who moved from the wide side to the boundary side of the defense because of his tackling abilities.
Eastern Michigan really requires their defensive backs to come up and make some hits. Their safeties, they fly up to the line of scrimmage. They blitz a lot. Their corners, they play a lot of man-to-man. And when you're playing man-to-man, you've got to be able to come up and get involved in the contact. And Rick Rasnick's been pleased with the way his secondary has played for the most part so far this early in the season.
Tom Brady, a 3rd-year sophomore, I should say a 4th-year junior at the controls. Wide open, Marcus Knight. Oh, that move could freeze vodka. And he picks up an extra 3 yards. James Hughes forced him out of bounds. First down near the 14-yard line.
Nice throw by Tom Brady, getting this ball to the outside. You'll see a nice block on 35 coming over to pick up Johnson. That enables Brady to step up, throws the ball to the outside. Then look at this move. You can't touch this guy in a hallway. Nice job picking up another 5-6 yards. Take a second look here. Brady going here all the way, throws the ball perfectly timed right out in front of Knight, gives him a chance to make the move.
Up the middle, Justin Fargas on his first carry of the day. Freshman from Encino, California, James Turner made the stop in the middle of the Eastern Michigan defense. We are winding down under 3 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Michigan in command at the moment, 31-13.
Starting to open things up a little bit more through the air in this 2nd half. It was something they had to work on. They didn't feel comfortable with it. We also were led to believe they were going to play both quarterbacks maybe a little more than they have because they needed to settle on one. Right now, Tom Brady doing a nice job.
Slot to the top of your screen, single back. There's a quick throw on the slant. David Terrell, touchdown! The first touchdown reception for true freshman David Terrell out of Richmond, Virginia. And a beautiful strike thrown by Tom Brady. 13-yard touchdown pass.
Watch how this ball is thrown out in front of Terrell. You hit him in full stride, so he's got that momentum to get by those white jerseys right there.
Oh, and look at the reaction from his quarterback. Yes, indeed. And the extra point is through the uprights and good. Well, the Wolverines now extend the advantage to 38-13. Mike Gleason is in Studio 66. Mike, what can you tell us about the Boilermakers of Purdue who are doing battle this afternoon?
Well, Wayne, this is our GTE update. Tom Brady obviously doesn't want to lose his job to Drew Henson. Well, Drew Brees is actually outshining Dante Culpepper. Brees, the pump fake, goes upstairs to Cliff Jackson. That's his second touchdown. Pretty good numbers on Brees. 9 of 15, 165, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Third quarter, 21-zip. Purdue. Well, let's go back to Ann Arbor with Wayne and Randy.
All right, thank you, Mike Gleason. That's a somewhat of a surprise that they are winning so handily in that one, isn't it?
I agree. Purdue, they lost so many players to be able to come back and pick up with that wide open offense. It's not easy to learn and execute early.
Take a look at the touchdown play a moment ago.
No doubt where Brady's going, just a one-step drop, and once again gets that ball out in front of Terrell so he can catch it in full stride and break the seam with those two defenders.
Executed properly, Randy. That's a play that's very difficult to defend.
Exactly. It happens so quickly you don't have time to recognize it and then come up and make the play. By the time you do that, the ball's already by you.
Aiden Epstein on the kickoff. And he's put a couple of them in the end zone, and he does this one as well. So it'll be first down from the 20-yard line. Boy, that freshman does have a big leg. No question about that. To get inside the huddle of your favorite Big Ten team, go online at www.big10.org for all the football and conference news from around the Big Ten. Wayne Larrivee with Randy Wright. Jim Barber's on our sidelines. Jim, of course, had tried in vain to get donuts from Walt Church's dad's donut shop this morning, and the crew was greatly disappointed.
I'm not convinced he didn't get them and just kept them all for himself.
I think we ought to send him up to the Eastern Michigan section here at Michigan Stadium. That's a climb. First down from the 20. Oh, here's the snap to the halfback. And Powell is gunned down. Michigan has seen this on a number of occasions, and that did not fool Sam Sword, the veteran linebacker, and he makes the stop on the play.
Once again, even though they're down 38-13, Rick Rasnick still wants to execute his offense. It's a passing offense. They've come in averaging 273 yards through the air. They're going to do that, but there's still certain plays they want to execute and work on for the rest of their season.
Under 2 minutes to go in the third. Trio of receivers at the bottom of your screen. 2nd and 8. Over the top for Sheffield. Oh, beautiful catch. Penalty marker is down. Sheffield is escorted to the chalk marks of the near side by Todd Howard, the cornerback.
They may get Jermaine Sheffield for pushing off there.
They very well might.
The beautiful pass. He throws it to the outside. Sheffield uses his height advantage again. But they do not call Sheffield. They call holding on Michigan. And the play will stand as it is. Beautifully executed again.
Holding on the defense. Penalties decline. Resolve the play. First down.
Well, you know what Sheffield does so well on this play is he gives himself room between where the defender is and the sideline. This way he can adjust towards the sideline. You see him take that step and adjust towards the sideline. He knows he's got room and he can still catch it and be in bounds. He does things here that you don't see a lot of NFL receivers do. He's been very well coached.
27-yard pass play. And first down at the 47 of Eastern Michigan for the Eagles. Play action, Church. And an interception in the deep secondary. Dwayne Patman. Penalty marker thrown late on the play. Patman out across the 40-yard line. Obviously some miscommunication that time between Sheffield and his quarterback. Walt Church thought Sheffield was taking a deeper route, perhaps a fly pattern. Pass thrown to that spot, but oh boy, one of those Wolverines having to get into the area and took it away on him. 12-yard return, and the penalty going against Michigan after the interception, I should say.
For an offense that has executed the passing game.
Illegal block in the back. On the return, 10-yard penalty from the point of the foul. First down.
They've executed this offense so well. One of the few miscommunications, and in an offense like this is generally the result. Here Sheffield pulls up right here. The ball right about here is already gone. And now Sheffield just puts his hands on his head saying, okay, it's on me, my mistake.
It's on me. And meanwhile, Walt Church with his 3rd interception. Dwayne Patman, an interesting story. Obviously, he's starting at free safety playing center field. Tommy Hendricks moving over to the strong side in place of Marcus Ray, who was suspended earlier this week. First down for Michigan. There's a quick toss thrown behind Marcus Knight. Knight, perhaps some miscommunication there between Tom Brady and his wide receiver, Marcus Knight. Jimmy, this is a tall order for Eastern Michigan. Quite a challenge for them to come in and play a program like Michigan. And fans around the country might wonder, why are they here? Why would they spend an afternoon like this in Ann Arbor?
Well, it's a fair question, Wayne. It all comes down to money. If you fly to Gainesville, Florida, the other choice, by way of Steve Spurrier and country, that would have cost you probably about $20,000 to fly the entire team and the administrators and the coaches. But because they decided to bus over to Ann Arbor from Ypsilanti, just $2,000. And you'd have to play in the swamp in September, more like early September.
Yeah. Justin Fargas gunned down by Derek Bidido, the outside linebacker. Loss of yardage back near the 25-yard line. Meanwhile, in relation to what this whole question was about, you know, why is Eastern Michigan coming over? Is it really worth it to play a game against Michigan? Walt Church had this quote: "You're playing for everyone who wanted a chance to play at or against Michigan. They're not just a football team, they're a tradition." This is from a kid who grew up in Ypsilanti, 6 miles from here.
Well, what a great attitude to have when you come in here as the underdog in order to play a game like this. And I've been very impressed with the way he's played, despite the 3 interceptions.
Brady's got Terrell wide open. Terrell can't make enough moves to get by the trio of defenders that meet him at the 34-yard line. So it'll be a gain of 9 yards or thereabouts and a 4th down for Michigan. Jason Short, the principal defender.
Not a big surprise to see David Terrell get involved in the passing offense. He's a true freshman, but he's a player that the Wolverines really need to emerge this year. He's got great speed. He had a good week of practice. He just needs to play more, but he could give the Wolverines that big play receiver with that speed that maybe they don't have with Streets and with Marcus Knight.
Nearly a block there, and a shank punt by Jason Vincent gets a Michigan bounce inside the 30-yard line of EMU. So it'll be first down for Eastern Michigan. They mark it near the 27-yard line, and the Eagles will come back.
Boy, it was close to being a block, and it looked as though Eastern Michigan had some players in that backfield, and they may not have thought they could have gotten there, didn't want to rough the kicker, but there were several white jerseys back here. Caused the punt to go off the side of the foot.
Just missed it.
Pretty close.
So it'll be first down. And here are the Eagles to the line of scrimmage. Walt Church at quarterback. Receivers spread across the field. Church is the lone back. Works it underneath. Eric Ebom, the reception to the 30-yard line, a gain of 3 yards as the 3rd quarter comes to a close. 3 complete in the big house. Michigan with a big lead. Mike Gleason Fighting Illini fighting back, and we'll see them next week. 2nd down and 7 here for Walt Church and company at the Eastern Michigan 30-yard line. Church on a draw, quarterback draw, but good recovery by Jake Freisinger. And it is a 3rd down coming up. Loss of a yard on that play. So it'll be 3rd down and about 8 yards to go.
Not a play you see very often from Eastern Michigan with Church at quarterback, because he's not very mobile. At that time, it looked as though Powell stepped over in front of him to be a lead blocker, maybe drew the defense to the middle right there.
3rd and 8. Lots of time. Christian made one move to get by Whitley, but could not get by the linebacker, Dahani Jones. It is a 4th down, Eastern Michigan.
Pretty well defense there by the Wolverines. Not much of an opportunity there for Church to get the ball downfield, and just took what he could, and Christian didn't have any place to run. Nice job defensively there.
Whitley drops back deep. Nick Avandet in punt formation. drive kick. Whitley will have an opportunity here. It's by the first wave. Makes the corner to the 50, to the 45, 40. Forced out of bounds. Inside the 40-yard line of the 37 of Eastern Michigan. Michigan gets great field position to start this latest drive. Andy Wright and Jim Barber at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor. Now let's take a look at the Outback Steakhouse game summary. Brought to you by Outback Steakhouse. And there are the numbers on this ball game. Thomas has gotten himself on track. Turnovers have led to points in this ball game. Often they do in college football game. Drew Henson in at quarterback on first down for Michigan. This is the dimension that Drew Henson brings to the picture for Michigan that perhaps a Tom Brady can't. Boy, I'd say it's 6'5" and long strides for 9 yards to the 30-yard line. Lincoln Dupree forced him out. Tom Brady, quite an athlete. Drafted, of course, by the Yankees, as we mentioned, as either a pitcher or third baseman. He set the all-time high school home run record. Talk about Sosa and McGuire. How about Drew Henson? He had 70 home runs in his high school career.
He won't be pitching then if he can only bat 1 out of every 4 or 5 days.
First and second down for Michigan. Second down at short yardage. Walter Cross got enough for the first down. Back to Studio 66 and Mike Gleason.
All right, thanks a lot, Wayne. The Cowboys of Wyoming rode into Athens, Georgia today. And the Bulldogs score here. Nice blocking. Nice lane for Orlando Scary. He goes in for the score on 2nd and 1 from 9 yards out. Bulldogs have yet to give up a touchdown in 98. Right now, in the second, they lead Wyoming 10-0. Let's go back to Randy and Wayne up in Ann Arbor.
Well, that's a long way for the Cowboys to go to get down 10-0. They're in a tough place to play. Right here, Michigan on top in command. Drew Henson, the freshman quarterback, at the controls. Walter Cross, another true freshman. Oh, nice hit made by Donald McCall, the junior from Colton, California. San Bernardino Junior College, leading tackler for the Eagles of Eastern Michigan, who, despite the score, in our opinion, Randy, I don't want to speak for you, but they acquitted themselves pretty well in this situation.
I agree with you 100%, Wayne, and you can speak for me anytime you like. But I do think they have played very well. They haven't given up. They just didn't have the size to stay with Michigan for 4 quarters. But offensively, especially, it played very well.
I always let you speak for yourself, Randy. You're more than capable of handling that. Penalty marker down here, maybe for delay of game on Michigan.
Prior to the snap, dead ball foul, false start, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
So they'll reload it on 2nd down. Second down, about 15 yards to go. Blitz coming. They picked it up well. Henson's got Terrell wide open. Reaches to the end zone for the touchdown. Freshman to freshman, 32 yards for a Michigan score. Oh, the future is bright.
Beautiful job of blocking in the backfield. You see 34 Fargus go over, pick him up, and a beautiful pass by Henson to a wide open David Terrell.
Well, those are 3 freshmen you just mentioned right there. Fargus, Henson, and Terrell. Wow. And there's the extra point by Jay Feely. And Michigan's lead is 45-13. Watch it again. Drew Henson, the golden arm. Will it be baseball or football? Well, right now, it's football. Advance Auto Parts is proud to be the title sponsor for today's Big Ten matchup. The Eastern Michigan Eagles against the Michigan Wolverines. Take a look at the numbers by quarter. Michigan jumped on top early, and they have led throughout, obviously. And Michigan adding to its advantage with a touchdown here in the 4th quarter. Wayne Larrabee, Randy Wright, Jim Barber. Hayden Epstein with the approach. And another booming kickoff through the end zone. So it'll be first down for Eastern Michigan from the 20-yard line.
Boy, don't ever let it be said we don't give our sideline guy the best seats in the house.
You know, I was trying to hide from you guys, but you found me somehow. I'm up here with the real people. You know, the people that really get the sunshine here and get messed up with what's going on. This is the largest stadium in the country now because of the expansion over this past season. In fact, about a $14 million expansion, guys, that has added roughly 5,000 seats to this stadium. So now the crowd today, as you may have already announced, is well over, I'd say, about 112,000. The toughest part of this, Wayne and Randy, is that I don't really like heights, and for some reason, the guys in the truck have emphasized that I had to do this story. So do you mind if I come down shortly?
Yeah, well, you know, the guys weren't too happy with you for the donut escapade this morning, so I imagine you can come down, but be careful, don't fall.
You know what? I'm gonna do a scene and remind you from a movie right here, if you can. Remember this on Titanic? Jack, Jack. That's kind of how I feel up here.
Oh,
Jim, what we'd like is we'd like you to go down to the other end and go up there and compare the views.
Yeah. My endurance record will be tested, guys. I'm taking the rest of the afternoon off. Thank you very much.
Well, look at it this way, Jim. You don't have to work out after the game today.
Yeah, that's true.
Eastern Michigan on offense. They'll face a third down, a short yardage situation coming up. Kenny Christian, who has been the recipient of several of those swing passes from Walt Church here this afternoon. And the head referee is calling for a timeout. Injured player down on the sidelines in front of the Michigan bench. And we will step away. 11:14 to go from Michigan. The Wolverines on course for their first win of the year. The third down, about 2 yards to go coming up. Football at the 28-yard line of EMU. Church. Intercepted. Jordan. Touchdown. Anthony Jordan, who played so well in a losing cause a week ago, 33 yards off a deflection for a touchdown. A tough pass to Eric Ebom off his hands, and Jordan able to collect and cash in. Second interception return for a touchdown this afternoon by Michigan.
Again, Wayne, the ball thrown a little bit harder maybe than it needs to be, and it cannot be corralled, gets tipped up in the air. Would have had the first down, but Jordan right where he needs to be, and then turns it in with a nice run here. Gets all the way into the end zone, and another redshirt freshman. Just how many young players have the Wolverines played today that have made some big impact?
Impressive. Point after touchdown is good. Take a look at it again. Anthony Jordan able to cash in from Jersey City, New Jersey.
Nice play by Patrick McCall, number 24, coming up there to make contact right as the ball got there. Jordan does a nice job of making the most he can out of it.
So the Michigan defense has scored on a couple of occasions here.
5, 6, 7, 28, 29, 30, 31.
Don't forget, coming up next week, we'll be in Champaign for the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. A border war, noon Eastern time, 11 a.m. in the Central Time Zones. Check your local listings. ESPN Plus Big Ten Game of the Week.
Interesting to see how Illinois is under second-year coach Ron Turner. They generally make a lot of improvement between the first and second year in a coach's regime. Ron Turner already with one victory this year.
They played pretty well up at Washington State in a losing cause. Won last week against Middle Tennessee, and they've got their hands full with Louisville this week at home and are on the comeback trail as we speak.
We've already seen they got a quarterback that can run.
Yeah, I guess so. I wonder how much gas he has left in his tank here this afternoon. Epstein. Well, Michigan's got a weapon here. I don't think Eastern Michigan's had a kickoff return. They most certainly have it in the second half, and I don't know if they had the entire game. So the Eagles again forced to start this drive at their 20-yard line.
Jim Herman, the defensive coordinator for the Wolverines, came in here unhappy with the way his defense had played. As you take a look at a group of tired, worn out, dejected Eastern Michigan Eagles. And the Wolverine defense, they wanted to play aggressively. They wanted to eliminate the big plays offensively and create some defensively.
Eric Powell breaks a tackle attempt. Gets out across the 20-yard line.
I think, Wayne, except for a couple of the big pass plays that Eastern Michigan has, he's pretty much accomplished that goal. They've created some big plays defensively, 2 of them, as you said earlier, resulting in touchdowns.
Eric Powell, the sophomore, in his first game at Ball State last week, rushed for 100 yards, gets up limping now. Penalty against Michigan. Powell has to come out of the ball game. There he is. Powell believes. Here's the call.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Penalties decline. Second down.
Randy, we've seen two illegal substitution calls, one on Eastern Michigan and one on Michigan now in this football game. That's a point of emphasis for the officials in the Big Ten Conference this season. And that is that you are not allowed to try to confuse the offense by bringing multiple people into the huddle or substituting late.
The situational substitution has become such a big part of the college game, like it is in the pro game, that they want to try and make it as easy for the defense or the offense, depending on who substitutes, to have an equal chance to get their people on the field too. So it is something that they're going to call very closely this year as opposed to years in the past.
It'll be third down, a short yardage situation here for Eastern Michigan, so they bring in the double tight ends. Ethan Benoit replaced Craig Powell and carried the football on the last call. They did not bring in double tight ends, but Walton Church on a quick count takes it on the quarterback sneak and gets it. Randy, we see that happening, a quarterback sneak, and Church is certainly a 6'4", 220. He's a good candidate for the quarterback sneak, but one of the keys I've always found in watching football is that if the quarterback gets up there on a quick count before the defense can set, they've got a much better chance of picking that up.
Exactly. Certain plays you don't want to go on a quick count, like screens and draws, because you want the rush. But when you want to get up there and pick up something quickly, maybe before the defense can recognize their formation and before they get dug in, quarterback sneaks are a good thing to go on quick early counts.
First down. Wide open, Pete Nikes to the 50-yard line. Walt Church, good execution on that play. Dwayne Patman made the stop in the deep secondary of the Michigan Wolverines, a 20-yard pickup.
Nice block by Tim Brzezinski, number 35, the tight end. That allows Church to get outside. As you take a look right here, watch that block, which will allow Church to get outside and find his receiver. He rides him all the way down, keeps contact, lets Church set up, turn those shoulders, and then makes a nice throw to Nikes.
First down at the 50-yard line. Snap to the up back, Ethan Benoit. Well, they've tried that on many occasions here. They get about 6 yards on that play. Brady Brooks makes the stop to Studio 66, where we stop in with Mike Gleason.
All right, thanks a lot, Wayne. A lot of college football fans keeping an eye on that Indiana-Kentucky game or the battle between Antoine Randall L. and Tim Couch. You might be surprised by the score. No touchdown passes so far for Tim Couch. Halftime, Indiana 20-10 over Kentucky. They still have 30 minutes to play. But keep in mind, Tim Couch did have 12 touchdowns in his first 2 games. Wayne?
Holy cow. I tell you, 163 yards passing. He had almost 400 yards passing last week. And the other factor is this: 3 interceptions in the first half by Tim Couch.
That's the one that really stands out, is the 3 interceptions. He had 7 touchdown passes against Indiana last year, a very young Indiana team. So 3 interceptions in that first half. We talked about Illinois being improved. Indiana maybe is improved as well.
Played a lot of young players last year, didn't they? Got some experience.
And were forced to. And once again, Cam Kramer in his 2nd year at Indiana appears to be doing things the right way.
First down, Walt Church. Shoveled it forward, nicely done, a la Brett Favre. Ethan Benoit goes down to the 35-yard line. Gain of 5 could have been disaster. Tate Shansky makes the stop for the Wolverines.
You don't have to be a great scrambling quarterback in order to move around in the pocket. And Walt Church has done a nice job all day of avoiding that first guy and buying just the extra amount of time. Here he steps up in the pocket, avoids that guy, and then just buys himself enough time to turn what would have been a big negative play into something decent.
Quick toss, Kenny Christian They have done a good job of snuffing that play out since about the second quarter. Todd Howard made the stop. Adjustment made by Michigan's defense in emphatic fashion.
That's the key. Is since about the middle of the second quarter, when they had seen it 3 or 4 times, they pretty much know what's coming. They recognize it that much earlier, and they're coming off those blocks a little quicker. Take a look at this hit out here. We'll see him come off the block and just drives him backwards. Picture perfect tackle.
Third down. About 4 yards to go. Nearly picked off through the hands of Ethan Benoit and almost intercepted by Patrick McCall. Well, we talked earlier in the ball game about big number 70, L.J. Shelton, the left tackle, the All-American candidate. There he is, right there, Randy.
Does a nice job of switching off. Michigan runs a little X block, and he does a nice job of standing in there and making the first bump and then coming off of him and picking up the X game. And really, Walt Church has had pretty good protection all day.
Timeout on the field. Just over 7 minutes to go in this one. Michigan 52, Eastern Michigan 13. On May 25th, 1935, at Michigan's Ferry Field, Jesse Owens set 4 world records. The broad jump, 26, 8 1/4. The 220-yard low hurdles, the 220-yard sprint, and the 100-yard dash. He did that in 9.4 seconds to set a world record.
100-yard dash.
Yeah. Notice that. Back in the 30s. Here's the snap to Walt Church. Good defense, and a penalty marker down very late in the play. Intended for Sheffield. It looked like a pretty good play initially by Todd Howard, the cornerback, freshman from Bolingbrook, Illinois.
Looked like, as you said, Wayne, a pretty good play. Howard just got there a little early, and Church threw the ball in a perfect spot. Low and outside. Watch where Church can deliver this ball. Right to the outside. It draws Sheffield away from the defender, and Howard has to go through Sheffield in order to get the ball.
Looked like a pretty good call on that replay.
I agree. Sheffield does such a nice job with his body, giving himself the best position to catch the ball and keeping the defender away from him. And 6'5", that's a big body to be able to do that with.
From the 28-yard line of Michigan, first down. Wide open, Kenny Christian. First and goal at the 5-yard line of Michigan. Forced out by Tate Shansky.
Just inside the 5-yard line.
So it's a first down.
Chased out by Tate Shansky.
Eastern Michigan, boy, offensively, they continue to try to execute their offense. 24-yard pass play.
Nice job how the receivers will cross. Sheffield goes to the outside, and Christian comes to the inside. Then they cross again down here. Now Christian, as he goes back to the outside, finds the open spot.
Ethan Benoit, the lone setback. Upended in the middle of the defense. Larry Foote, another true freshman, made the stop for Michigan. Advance Auto Parts is proud to be the title sponsor for today's Big Ten matchup. The Eastern Michigan Eagles and the Michigan Wolverines here at Michigan Stadium in Ann Arbor, Michigan. I'm Wayne Larrabee alongside of Randy Wright, and Jim Barber is on our sidelines and in the stands at times. He's been up on the rim of this stadium, defying all odds.
No obstacle get in the way of a semi-good story.
Now the big shift on here. Wow, that's strange. I bet they haven't seen this yet.
They probably won't see it again either.
Ethan Benoit, touchdown from Walt Church. That is as strange as it gets. Wow.
Well, you do that for 2 reasons. Number one, you keep this defense guessing, but you certainly give opponents down the road something to look at.
Boy, I guess you do, don't you? You occupy some practice time of your opponents in the next couple of weeks.
And that was the ultimate goal, even more so than scoring right here. Well executed, though. Benoit lined up on the left side right here. Comes right out. One-on-one. And does a nice job just running a little 5-yard out as Michigan, not sure what was going on, really wasn't ready for that.
And the PAT is through the uprights, Justin Ventura. So it is 52-20. Michigan over Eastern Michigan. Just over 6:10 left to go. A little celebration of the late going for Eastern.
Dodge. From cars to minivans to trucks, it's about change. The new Dodge. Advance Auto Parts. The best part is our people. GTE, official telecommunications consultant to the NCAA and the Big Ten. Phillips 66, makers of super clean gasolines and Trop-Arctic motor oil.
Well, the Michigan Wolverines are going to get a win here today, but these Eagles from Eastern Michigan have really brought some entertainment value to this one. They have come here to play, and they have not backed down. And they've been creative. And take a look at this last play on offense. Shift everybody. L.J. Shelton, the big All-America offensive tackle, way out beyond the formation, along with Clay Mahari. And then Walt Church out of the shotgun to watch this. Michigan wondering, wait a minute, where are all these people going? And Ethan Benoit pops open in the end zone.
Well, you give a quarterback two options. If the defense doesn't shift enough players out there with your players, then you throw it to the right. Nikas was over there. You set up a little screen. If they shift like they did, then you let your back go one-on-one. Did a nice job of reading it right, making a good throw.
Good return by Fargus. Joe Carroll made the stop. It'll be first down for the Michigan Wolverines just across the 25.
When you're talking with the Michigan coaches, they had said they wanted a running back to emerge because they need to get the running game going, but they also wanted a quarterback to emerge between Tom Brady and Drew Henson. And although I think Tom Brady came in with an advantage, we've seen him play the majority of today, they really would like to see Drew Henson step up and do some things because they want to design an offense around whichever one of these two guys is going to be playing this game for this team for the rest of the year.
First down to the 26-yard lines where they have it spotted. Drew Henson at the controls. Henson, quick look, Marquise Walker. Walker escorted to the chalk marks of the near side across the 30-yard line, a gain of about 4. To the sidelines, Jim Barber. Jim?
Guys, all afternoon long, you've been talking about Drew Henson in his limited time of playing. As you know, he signed with the New York Yankees to play baseball, played some minor league ball during the summer, got a $2 million contract. Well, this guy has got his own webpage and then some. Over 100,000 hits on it during the summer just to find out about this kid. Clarence Williams, the running back of Michigan, said, you know, he's just like us, minus the $2 million.
Fumble on the snap. Did they get it back? And apparently it is going to be Michigan football. So mishandled exchange. You know, Jim, just to add to what you were talking about after we take a look at it.
So often you see a fumble exchange with a new quarterback in there, though Henson has played some. That time it looked as though the center were just going to pull a little quickly and didn't get the ball up to Henson in time.
Steve Frazier on the snap. Well, you know, Drew Henson was working out with the Yankees when they were down in Tampa. And after he took a few swings in the cage, he was in the clubhouse talking to Derek Jeter and the boys, and he was explaining to them he's going to go into Michigan to play quarterback and to play football. And Derek Jeter turns to him and says, wow, you're going to Michigan? You're going to play quarterback? You're going to play football? And Jeter says, wow, that's big time. Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees, the best team in the world right now.
How big do you have to be for Derek Jeter to say that's big time?
You know, Henson said his eyes were wide as he could get. And he said, wow, you're going to play quarterback at Michigan. That's big time. Oh, well, I tell you, everything in its proper time for Drew Henson and company. Let's take a look at the Outback Steakhouse. Outstanding back. And this spotlight is on Anthony Thomas, the sophomore. 3 touchdowns today, over 100 yards rushing, 117 yards rushing for Anthony Thomas out of Winfield, Louisiana. His first big afternoon of the season. Thomas came in with 115 yards on 15 carries, or I should say Anthony came in with just 46 yards on 19 carries into this afternoon's game. And of course he did an outstanding performance to win the Outback Steakhouse Back of the Game award. Henson. Nobody open there. Diallo Johnson was in the neighborhood, but pretty well covered at the 35. So does 4th down for Michigan.
They're wisely thrown down into the ground and not forced in there by Drew Henson, and you'd rather have an incompletion than an interception. A couple of drives that Henson has had. He had the big touchdown pass, but maybe does look a little more out of sync.
Well, that youngster knows that this verdict has long been in. Vinson gets a good one away this time. Kewan Douglas took one hit and goes down on the second out at the 31-yard line, where it'll be a first down. Ray Jackson put him away. So 1st and 10 coming up for Eastern Michigan. We have just over 5 minutes to go in the football game. Michigan leading 52-20. Don't forget, coming up next week, our Big Ten matchup is the Iowa Hawkeyes and the Fighting Illini of Illinois. The Dean of Big Ten Coaches, Hayden Fry, brings his All-America defensive tackle and sack specialist Jared DeVries to Champaign, Illinois, to take on a scrappy group of Fighting Illini led by linebacker Danny Clark. That's next Saturday, noon Eastern. Adrian Barbara is in at quarterback for Eastern Michigan. Walt Church, a long afternoon for him. Church was 32 of 42, 343 yards, 2 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Well, the interceptions will stick out as being a real sore spot, but 32 for 42 for 343 yards. Outstanding day from that aspect. Couple of touchdowns, and did a nice job of reading and dissecting this Michigan defense.
To Ethan Benoit, the up back, for about 5 yards out to the 36-yard line. Chris Singletary on the stop for Michigan. A lot of the backup personnel getting opportunities to play in this ball game now, with the game pretty well obviously decided. There's a look at Walt Church and his numbers.
I've got to think this offense, Wayne, even though they're going to lose this game, they've got to feel pretty good about what they did offensively against this team.
Barbara comes back over the middle, juggled and dropped incomplete, threw it behind his tight end Matt Kelly. Well, they've added new seats here. Jim Barber detailed that, but also the scoreboard. Outstanding. 2 big scoreboards in above the rim of the stadium in both end zones, and all the information you need, and a huge television screen right there. 4th down for Eastern Michigan. David Terrell back deep to receive for the Wolverines. Vondeck gets off an end-over-end kick. Terrell on the run from the 26. Out to the 39-yard line, 13-yard return. David Taylor makes the stop. Well, Michigan accomplished part of its goal, Randy, and that is to get the running game on track, and they did that today. First run from scrimmage, 36 yards, Anthony Thomas. That set the tone. But there were some other problems that really weren't as quickly solved. The 3rd down problems. They were at one point in the ball game just 3 of 8 on 3rd down conversions, and they are 3 of 9 right now.
And that is a problem. It's been a problem for them coming into today's game, and they did not solve that. Now, some of that has to do with the yardage they need to get for a first down on 3rd down. 6 or more a lot of times, and it's harder to make those than their usual 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3.
Henson on a swing pass right through the hands of fellow freshman Evan Coleman. The Studio 66 in a moment. We'll get to Mike Gleason for an update on the scoreboards. A lot of the games getting underway now. We have 4:14 left to go in this one. Eastern Michigan trailing Michigan by 32 points. And Drew Henson, quarterback of the Wolverines out of Brighton High School. His dad moved to Michigan when he became an assistant coach at Eastern Michigan University. Ironic. No longer a coach there, working for ING, the firm that represents athletes and entertainers. Vargas. Justin Vargas high steps out of bounds, 43-yard line of Eastern Michigan. David Taylor took him out. 16-yard gain for Vargas, the freshman out of Encino, California. He was ticketed to go to USC, all set to go there, and then John Robinson got fired, and he said, well, wait a minute. Instead of going to USC, I'll opt out of that and come here to Michigan, and I think he's happy with the decision he made.
Well, I know Lloyd Carr certainly is happy with the decision he made. It's just another one of those young backs, a true freshman. This time, Fargus showing a little more quickness than we've seen in some of the other backs. A little inside-outside move. Nice gain.
Evan McCall in motion. Fargus. Oh, beautiful moves by Fargus. Down to the 30-yard line, a first down. On a gain of about 13 or 14 yards. Anthony Smith the stop to Studio 66 now for Mike Gleason. Mike?
All right, thanks a lot, Wayne. Just a reminder that after the Michigan game, we'll be back here in Studio 66 to bring you up to date on all the Big Ten action. Central Florida, Purdue, Illinois, and Louisville. We'll have the scores and the highlights coming up right after your game. Let's go back to Wayne and Randy.
I'll tell you, Mike, what an array of backs Lloyd Carr has to pick from. Walter Cross, Justin Fargus, Anthony Thomas, Clarence Williams. The hits keep on coming. First down for Michigan. Henson, Ray Jackson. Jackson will not go down. First down to the 14-yard line. Lincoln Dupree finally brought him down.
You know what's so amazing, Wayne, about all the different backs we've seen play for Michigan today, Clarence Williams is the only one that's not a freshman or a sophomore. So these backs, they're going to continue to be productive for years to come. Nice job by Henson getting the ball out in front of Jackson. We've seen Jackson play the complete role today as a blocker, receiver, runner, and here just fighting for those extra yards. You don't get many opportunities with all these good backs. You need to take advantage of it while you can.
17-yard gain on that play. And now Henson over to the side. Visit with the coaching staff. There's another gentleman who got up and failed to look in the mirror this morning. And I don't blame him. Well, there's another championship team on this Michigan campus. Michigan defeated Boston University for the 1998 NCAA Hockey Championship for their 9th hockey title. Championships in 48, 51, 52, 53, 55, 56, 64, 96, and 98. Congratulations to the Michigan Wolverine hockey team. They played over at Floyd Yost Arena here on campus, right? Our Dodge player of the game, a freshman, Dave Terrell, and he had an outstanding afternoon. 4 catches, 65 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Nice job on a couple of punt returns, and he is the guy, maybe, Wayne, that most likely could give this offense the explosive receiver, the explosive play that really Charles Woodson did last year from the wide receiver
Absolutely.
position.
Yeah, he's the guy the coaches glean a little bit when you mention his name, because he is the guy who can maybe add that extra spark, that dimension. But so much youth at the skill positions for Michigan offensively in this early season, and that's one of the reasons why they've struggled. These kids are learning on the job. Vargas, good cutback. Boy, I tell you, he had a big hole to read, but he read it nicely. Down to the 9-yard line, gain of about 5. Anthony Smith, the tackle for Eastern Michigan. We are under 3.5 minutes to go in this one.
No, Wayne, that's another reason why Michigan really needs to settle in on a quarterback, because when you have so many young players and inexperienced players at the skill positions, you've got to have a solid, stable quarterback in there.
Well, let me ask you, have they settled on one from what you've seen here today?
From what I've seen today, I've seen Tom Brady play much more than I've seen Drew Henson play. They have given Henson a chance to throw the ball when he's been in, even with this lead. But after the one series that he played in the second quarter where they went 1, 2, 3 and punt, it's been pretty much Brady. And I think Brady hasn't done anything to hurt himself today.
Walter Cross, first and goal, Michigan near the 2-yard line. 8-yard gain. Scott Russell, a freshman linebacker, made the stop.
I don't think Tom Brady did anything to hurt himself today, and I think he did a nice job, and he was in there.
Well, Brady, you've got Henson, Dreisbach in a pinch.
And Dreisbach is a guy a lot of people have forgotten about.
Yeah.
He was the guy that started a couple of years ago.
Started about 15 games in his career, thereabouts. Michigan on the doorstep again. Vargas went over the top and did not get it done. Well, the defense rose to the occasion that time. Russell was there along with Anthony Smith.
Vargas may be the smallest of all the Michigan backs at 6'1", 185 pounds. He's going to have to go over to try and get in because, unlike Thomas, doesn't have quite that bulk.
Listen to this. Pops in there. Second down, Michigan. Vargas fumbles to the goal line, and it is a touchdown. He broke the plane before he lost possession. Touchdown, Michigan. So what's left of this sellout crowd of better than 107,000 take up on the fight song.
Nice job by Vargas. Still went to the outside, then a little move, trying to stretch out, and just does get that ball across the goal line before it gets knocked loose.
And Epstein puts it through on the extra point. Justin Vargas has scored. And Michigan's lead is 59-20 with 1:41 to go. Don't forget, Mike Gleason in Studio 66 will have an update on all of the early action in college football. Many games underway now, including a couple of note in the Big Ten. Illinois playing Louisville. Purdue is off to a good start against Dante Culpepper in Central Florida. Army was playing its first Conference USA game. Army, matter of fact, was scheduled to be here for this game this weekend. But when they joined the new conference, they asked out of this game so they could play a conference game. And Michigan agreed and invited Eastern Michigan to come over here.
Turned out to be a wise choice for Army, I'd say.
Yes.
What a beautiful place to play, though.
Yeah, absolutely. No question about it. And again, for many of these kids from Ypsilanti, this is a dream come true for them to get to play in this building and play against this tradition.
I think Walt Church, the approach, the quote that we showed earlier, his attitude was indicative of their entire team. I think they look forward to coming over here. They didn't have high expectations, but they get a chance to play over here. Walt Church certainly did himself proud with the way he played, and I think the entire Eastern Michigan team, they were undermanned. They didn't have the size, but they put up almost 400 yards of total offense against a team that was very, very good defensively last year and will be again this year, and have nothing to be ashamed of.
This has become a common sight. Eastern Michigan has returned. Oh, that went through the uprights. That went right through the uprights, and that drew a cheer from the student section across the way. But at any rate, Eastern will take over at the 20-yard line. You know, you take a look at Eastern Michigan, Walt Church, 4 interceptions, but Randy, 2 of them were off the hands of his receivers. He threw the ball pretty well, it looked like to us today.
I think he threw the ball very well, and for having no interceptions coming into today, he really didn't get rattled when some of those interceptions started taking place. Sign of an older quarterback, and for himself only being a sophomore, real maturity.
Ethan Benoit for about 6 yards. Watch that kickoff again. Let's see if we can get a good look at it.
This is getting to be such a weapon when you can take the return team totally out of play, and I think it's going to be 3 points.
Wow. That kid has a leg. The extra point he just kicked should be pointed out. In high school, you can use a team. Now, you can't use one in the college game, and that was the first time he has kicked in a game without a team. And that extra point a moment ago. Pile up near the 30-yard line as we wind down this ball game under 2 minutes ago. Coming up with a minute left to go. Radis made the stop. Ethan Benoit, who's playing. We saw Eric Powell leave earlier with what appeared to be a sprained ankle. Powell rushed for 113 yards last week.
One of the fears that Rick Rasnick had, though, coming in here was that he didn't want to get his team beat up. He didn't want to have injuries that would carry over for the next 2, 3, 4 weeks and affect them in their conference games. And I think other than a couple of players, he's been pretty healthy. His team should leave here without too many injuries.
Ethan Benoit turned back on the play by the Michigan defense. Well, one thing Rasnick said, he said, you know, we can go down to the swamp. We can play Florida down there and play the Gators. We can suffer, you know, maybe a demoralizing loss. We could incur some injuries. You know, Steve Spurrier continues to pile it on regardless of what the game situation is. And we could play in that heat and humidity. And he said, you know, it takes sometimes 2 weeks when you come out of a humidity game like that to get your team's legs back under it.
Absolutely. Definitely a wise choice coming here.
Barbara. There's the escapability he has. And of the 2 quarterbacks who play for Eastern Michigan, Barbara has very good feet. And you saw it right there, able to escape the rush and keep this drive alive for Eastern Michigan in the final minute. Final seconds, I should say. 13 seconds to go. So Michigan will post its first victory of the season on the third weekend of the season, which is a great disappointment in these parts. But perhaps the Wolverines have gotten some facets of their game together, and that might bode well. They play, what, at Michigan State next week?
They play here against Michigan State.
Barbara airs it out. Nobody home. And we've got 8 seconds to go.
Really, Wayne, for a game that Michigan, I'm sure, thought could be maybe not as intense mentally in terms of preparation and performance, having started 0-2, they really needed to make sure they didn't have a letdown this week. They needed to come out and work on some things, and next week they get right back into it with that rivalry with the Spartans, have to be up and ready to play again. And how can you figure out Michigan State this year?
The way they got blown out in their first couple of games, or actually they played CSU pretty tough and then got blown out on the West Coast by Oregon, and then back home and they blow out Notre Dame after a big win. Notre Dame had experienced a big win the week before over Michigan. Maybe the final play. Barbara brought down after picking up about 4 yards, and that will do it. The Michigan Wolverines, the defending national champions, get their first win of the season in their third game. Now, Jim Barber and Randy Wright, Wayne Larrabee saying so long for our entire Big Ten crew from Ann Arbor, Michigan, where Michigan wins here this afternoon over Eastern Michigan 59-20. Let's go to Studio 66 in my